Hi, YouTube.
Hey, YouTube.
The season is here.
Make sure you subscribe.
No bullshit. Like and subscribe.
Subscribe.
And like and watch and enjoy.
Football's here.
I got here this morning about 9:30. At 10:30, I hear Casey Smith. She looks at me and she says, "Brandon, is my hot sauce on your desk?" First of all, it's 10:30 in the morning.
She's pregnant.
It's a breakfast thing.
This is where I am pregnant. But have you never heard of putting hot sauce on eggs?
100% heard of hot sauce on eggs. Like at my desk,
Yeah.
I have some pictures, some starting lineup figures. I have a plug for my computer, a phone charger. You have your hot sauce bottle.
Well, the reason it was on your desk is because, it's Noah's Ark in here. The whole office is flooding and falling apart.
Yeah.
And so I sat at your desk this week, and I do have a bottle of hot sauce on my desk, but that's because pre-pregnancy, I think for the rest of my life and for most of my time on this earth already, I drown pretty much everything in hot sauce. You know how annoying it is when you really, really want a specific condiment on something,
Sure.
and then you don't have it? How do you fix that? You should always have it on your desk.
Never had hot sauce on eggs.
It's very good.
It's so good. Do you like hot sauce, though?
I don't like spicy food at all.
Oh, that's right. You're a pussy.
Yeah.
That's a
well,
lot.
Yeah.
I will say, I didn't like hot sauce as a kid, but now I can't get things hot enough. The hot sauce that I'm currently eating is just basically like Louisiana hot sauce that's rebranded with Pardon My Cheesesteak on it.
Yeah.
But I think it tastes better because it's a, quote, Barstool brand. I don't know why, but
Company gal through and through.
I actually sold it from McTrainey's desk.
Kept hot sauce in her bag?
Who's that?
Hillary Clinton.
Hillary Clinton.
You know who also did?
Beyonce.
Beyonce.
Well, Hillary was
Yes.
quoting
The big
Beyonce.
three.
Yes.
Beyonce, Hillary, and Casey.
I went to Fayetteville, Arkansas, a long time ago.
You have that in common with Hillary.
Yeah, true. And they were it was the most Arkansas thing ever, which I appreciated. On the outside of the stadium, they give away free stuff. There was a tub for tiny little Tabascos, which I thought was very cute. And then the next tub over was Tums. I thought it was hilarious. But I won't even say stole. They gave them to me. Very nice. So many of those baby Tabascos and kept them in my purse forever. And I felt like Beyonce.
So you stole them.
No, they were giving them away.
Yeah, they were giving 2 away. They weren't giving away 50.
They were. It's like one serving hot sauces. I will say I think that you caught a lot of people being like, "Oh no, I put hot sauce on the eggs." I don't know if you've tweeted it yet. The one that you caught me eating this afternoon is actually a weird craving. Yes.
What was it?
I've already told Katie. Show Jack and see what he
I'm
thinks.
going to show you the picture, and then I'll... That's pickles in mayonnaise, buddy. That's pickles in mayonnaise.
Wait.
That's the top of my chicken sandwich. She walked over and said, "Are you going to eat those pickles?" I said, "No."
So she just ate the pickles?
No, with the
and
mayonnaise.
she rubbed the
I
mayonnaise.
was
She
making
rubbed
sure
them
that-
around
yeah.
the mayonnaise, yeah.
It's aioli, basically.
I love mayonnaise.
I mean, aioli is mayonnaise.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah.
It's millennial mayo.
Mayonnaise is so good.
Mayonnaise, a lot of games to talk about today.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Let's do a show.
Oh my God.
Hi, welcome to Unnecessary Roughness, Barstool's college football show, brought to you by High Noon Hard Seltzer. Get the tailgate pack. You can get 2 grapefruit, 2 cranberry, 2 pear, 2 black cherry. Katie brought me the cranberry and the pear the other day. Said, "Here, I'm going to film you getting your first taste of the pear." The pear is delish.
Katie did?
I said Katie.
I did.
You did a taste
You're
test
messing your
with
broads
Casey.
up.
You did it?
I did.
That wasn't you. That was her.
I
I
swear to
filmed
God, it
an
was
ad
me.
with you.
You filmed it.
But you didn't taste them.
I filmed it.
You brought it to me?
Yes, because I was in the kitchen and I was like, "Oh shit, they're
You
in
know,
the office."
y'all all look the same to me.
And I said, "Well, I can't do this on camera because I can't drink right now."
But you were drinking off camera.
Tons,
Right.
just throwing them back. No, High Noon. I was definitely not doing that. But I saw that all the new packs, and you know how it goes around here with High Noon. The High Noon cases
Oh, they go quickly, yeah.
disappear in a hurry. But I also noticed there was a lemon pack.
I
and
stashed some under my desk.
that
you brought to me. Now that I think about it,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah, I brought to you.
No,
Katie-
she brought that
No.
to me.
I also I put a box underneath your decks. Because, we need these for ad reads, and they're more likely to be stolen from my desk and not yours.
Katie brought you them. I brought you a cold pear.
Yes.
And then said, "Try this on camera."
Can I say something about the pear?
I know what you're going to say, but go ahead.
It's the best smelling drink I've ever had.
I can
It
smell
smells
it.
like a pear. And you drink it, it tastes like pear, and it's delicious. But the smell is like, oh my God, that's a pear garden. That's a pear tree.
It from smelling all the high
Underrated
noons,
fruit.
It is underrated.
Underrated fruit.
Well, like we said last episode, I don't know, other than the actual pear itself,
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had pear flavored anything. Like not drinks, not food, not alcohol. Like it is very underrated.
What about
when it
Perrier? I'm sorry, I'm tired.
you are full of dad jokes today.
I'm tired.
But of all the high
No,
noons,
it's better to say you're rounding into form.
I'm getting there.
Yep.
I'm getting there.
Yes, it's
Actually, before we get started, and
it's the best smelling high noon. That's what I'll say.
terrific smelling high noon. Casey, if
You're really
Katie?
thank you.
broads. you
Katie,
know?
if you can get our first guest as we start this season off right. We're recording on Thursday afternoon. Thursday night we'll have football. We're going to preview the entire weekend, though. But I don't know. I'm dragging, right? I've been doing shows all week.
I know
don't
what you're saying.
I don't know if my mind is where it needs to be. I need to get into the Brandon Walker mindset. I need to get into Brandon Walker's fuck everybody.
It's
Yeah.
an elite. It's an elite. Once you go there,
Yeah.
You know how basketball players or any
Right.
sport athlete will talk about getting into flow.
Yeah.
You get into flow on the mic sometimes, and I know there's an antidote to get you into flow.
I need a trigger. Yeah.
Yes.
I basically need a human smelling salt to get me going.
Yes, it's
so
like the
we're
guys on
about
the sideline.
we're gonna bring a couple smelling salts in here to get me going, to get me pissed, get me right as we go forward. And we're gonna talk about Ohio State, Notre Dame, Florida, Utah, Arkansas, Cincy, Georgia, Oregon.
Have you seen the shirts that he's made?
Oh no,
That's
Okay.
That's the point of
I-
this
All
exercise.
right.
I haven't.
Oh,
Let me
I
tell you
haven't.
something. Let me tell you something.
These
just,
shirts-
Just
Okay,
relax.
just share it.
Just
or
relax.
No,
Save
let's-
it. Save it.
It'll get everybody. It pisses me off to no end. He's walking in shortly.
I don't think he's wearing it today, but he wore it. I think
Oh,
on
I think
Tuesday.
that one? No, this one. Look at this one he's wearing today is worse.
Have you seen the?
Yeah, the playoff bracket.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it.
I haven't seen any of it.
Come on.
Alabama
Oh.
versus the world is just pathetic.
This is Travy for the boys. This is Sean.
How's it going?
He somehow works here full time. I just need to get in the right frame of mind. You are, of course, an Alabama fan.
I am.
You are from Pelham, Alabama.
No.
Athens, Alabama.
No.
Decatur, Alabama.
No.
Coleman, Alabama.
No.
Selma, Alabama.
No.
Selmer, Alabama.
No.
Florence, Alabama.
No.
Homewood, Alabama.
No.
Birmingham, Alabama.
Correct.
Oh, I thought the joke was that you weren't from Alabama. He was just couldn't remember
No.
where you're from.
I just couldn't remember where it was from.
You can't remember
But that's
Birmingham?
my fault for not being able to think of Birmingham.
Right. I mean, that's.
I'm almost certain the last time he was here, it was a suburb.
It is a suburb.
Which suburb?
Trustful.
Trustful. That's what I was going for. Obviously, I knew it was Birmingham. That's why I said Homewood and
Well, I didn't want to draw that out any longer. So
That was
Oh,
smart.
oh my God.
I hate him so much. I need to get pissed off.
okay.
I need to get where I need to go, okay? And looking at your stupid faces doing it. You got the Alabama hat. By the way, it's a throwback Alabama hat from when you guys fucking sucked. Secondly,
It's a great hat.
you're
though, I'll be
wearing
honest.
you're wearing a shirt, a Barstool shirt. Please go buy it.
Yeah.
It says Alabama versus the world. Fuck you.
I mean,
Fuck.
the
You
statement,
get the
statement stands true.
You know what it should say?
You get the best players, the best coaches. You spend the most money. Your player parking lot is a fucking luxury car lot. You get everything. Nobody's against you in this world. You have the best world in the world. You have everything at your fingertips as an Alabama fan, and you did nothing to earn it. What does Alabama against the world even mean?
Anybody that lines up against us is against us. So that would be the world.
Get the fuck out of here.
I do
know what
have.
it
I have a
should
question
read?
for you because we also
Alabama versus basic education.
I was gonna say standardized tests.
That's better.
It's the same thing. That's like New England versus the world. It's the same shirt. It's not like
Don't take up for him.
I agree. Like when we did Barstool versus the world shirts, it's like everybody hates Barstool, so it's us versus the world. I see what where you're coming from. However, when you are a dynasty like Alabama or the Patriots, when they had Tom Brady, everyone fucking hates you because they are not you. So the shirt makes sense to me.
Nobody has it easier in the world than an Alabama football fan.
Especially born in 1998.
Yes, especially somebody who's less than like 24,
Yeah.
25 years old.
Oh, I don't disagree
Nobody
with
has
that.
it easier in the world, and he's saying Alabama versus the world like it's a mentality this guy has to have.
Well, listen, you're kind of proving the point of his shirt though, because you bring him in just to get mad and ramped
what are
up.
you doing?
I'm proving the point that Alabama gets you pissed off. So it's
That's why I brought him in.
exactly. So it's
This
Alabama
shirt
versus
pisses me
the world.
off.
His other shirt that they made for Alabama. You can buy these all in the Barstool Sports Store, by the way, if you are an Alabama fan. I know we have a few listening. He has a shirt with a empty playoff bracket, and it says "See you in January," and Alabama's on it.
Oh, that's way worse. Than
Yeah,
that
if
shirt.
Katie, could you just pull it up for us so Katie can, or Casey can see it?
I hate
Alabama.
everything.
Who designed
I
that?
hate,
Did you
I hate
design that
everything
shirt?
about you.
Yeah, see you
I
in
mean,
don't
listen,
like
as an
you.
Alabama fan, I would buy the shit out of that shirt. As any other fan base, that's the worst shirt I've ever heard.
Who's
Yeah,
beating
so-
Alabama this year? That's my question.
No one.
I,
No one is beating us. The best chance we have to lose is week 2 versus Texas.
Really?
You-
At,
In the regular
at
season.
Arkansas,
In the
at,
regular season. At Texas.
at Arkansas, at Ole Miss. These are
Week-
both objectively better
A&M
teams right now
A&M
than
coming
Texas.
to Tuscaloosa.
No, that'll
No,
be a
that's
curb
come on.
stomping.
That's
More
gonna be
than
an, That's
Texas?
going to be an ass whipping.
I'll
That's-
give me the
But
highest.
you remember how Jimbo? We get mad at Jimbo for bitching out, and then we do that. Guess who ain't going to bitch out? Saban is going to
Give me the highest line.
shoot.
On that
He's
game.
going to eat.
Boston.
He's going to eat Jimbo's blood that day.
What's F your documentary mean?
F your what? F who?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Alabama talk or whatever.
Yeah, the supposed HBO documentary that was
No,
made,
that's a good- that's a
made
good
about,
shirt, yeah.
about Alabama.
That
Rush.
wasn't true.
We have an SEC versus the world shirt.
It looks
It
like,
means more.
It looks like a Red Sox shirt.
I hope nobody.
Yeah.
Listen.
Personally, I wouldn't buy the SEC
Listen.
versus the
Of
world.
course you would, because you're a fucking Alabama fan.
But you wouldn't buy it either.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't. And
I wouldn't buy it either.
I got to be honest.
Oh, it's with all.
Oh, it's in
it's
different
with-
colors.
okay.
Yeah, that's better.
Oh, okay. So
Different.
No,
Katie-
wait.
Katie
Hold on.
is-
Hold on. Hold on. We got to make sure we have all the colors because they haven't got.
It doesn't look like we do.
Keep going.
It
Keep
doesn't
going.
look like
Oh,
we
there-
do.
there it is.
Oh, there
Okay.
it is. Okay. Hey.
Got a maroon in there.
That was such a feminine.
So, Travy, you play Utah State this week. What a gutsy scheduling. What a
It's like
gutsy
the first
schedule.
time since 2000.
Just an incredible scheduling by Alabama
It's
to
the
really
first time in
to really say, look at us.
since 2011, we haven't played like a Power 5 school. to start
Utah
the year.
State. Wow, we're so brave. We have the best dynasty, and
You
we're
know,
gonna
Nick
host
Saban
Utah State.
beats Texas on during week 2. He'll continue his 100% streak on out of conference road games, and the great thing about this stat is that will be his third out of conference
under
road
Nick
game.
Saban, which is 15 years now. They will remain undefeated in non-conference road games, going to a sterling 3-0.
3-0.
What a bunch of pussies!
What are the other ones that he went to? Was
I
Florida?
don't know.
What we've
Penn
talked
State?
in
Penn
Florida
State.
State, right? No,
I thought that was a neutral
07?
site.
Yeah, 07, I believe that we played Florida State in Tallahassee.
Penn State in 20.
Yeah, we went
11?
It was
12?
2011 because they came.
It's
wait, no,
only been
maybe
3?
no 2010.
Three.
There's
They
no-
don't-
there's
I'm
no-
like trying
it's
to
only
rack
been
my
two.
brain.
No,
and
it's
it's
only
like-
two.
well, yeah. I mean, yes,
all
it's
of
only
our,
been 2.
all of our tough game is always like at the beginning of the year. Supposed tough game is either at Mercedes-Benz, Dallas,
All
or
right,
Orlando.
that's fine. It's a 12-0 national championship.
Well, that would be the regular season, but 15-0.
I can't fire him.
Can I? I'm pretty high up. Have you seen mine?
No.
Your
I
contract?
think he did make that graphic about the loudest stadiums. And
No.
put
What other
Sanford-
graphic? No.
Oh,
yeah,
he did
you
it.
made the graphic.
Exciting. Our
So, hold
NCAA
on.
players.
Hold on. You put. You made a graphic. You made a graphic with the loudest stadiums in the country. You put Sanford Stadium, Georgia, number 1. What's wrong with you?
I've told you. I did not make the graphic by myself.
did
That
say
was a
that last time
collective
he was here.
group.
You're an SEC guy. You're an Alabama guy. It's Alabama against the world. You're letting somebody else pick number 1. Who picked number 1?
It cannot be biased.
Who
to count
picked-
Yeah,
on
but
Yes,
also,
it can.
Well, it can't.
no,
but
it
even,
cannot. It's
even,
a brand account. It
Who
cannot
picked
be
Sanford
biased.
Stadium?
Even if it can't be biased, I mean, let's be honest.
Sanford
Georgia
Stadium?
is not the loudest SEC
They're not
school.
top 20.
I mean, it's LSU
I didn't
by
put 'em
far.
as number
LSU's
one.
louder. Florida's louder. Tennessee's louder.
A&M's
wouldn't-
louder.
Auburn's louder. A&M's louder.
If we went back, if I were to make the list completely, I would change it, obviously.
Also-
and also the last list with rivalries. I came to you and asked you for your opinion on that.
I don't know. I don't talk to you. And
Yes, you do.
and here's the you made a graphic, top 10 most exciting NCAA football players ever on the video game.
Yes.
Vince Young wasn't on the graphic.
I thought he was actually on the graphic.
He was not.
Well, we did put Pat White number 1. Do you agree with that?
I'm fine with that. I wouldn't put him over
That you put
Reggie
Juice
Bush
Williams over Vince Young.
You know who requested that?
Yeah, Chuck.
Okay.
or Vince Young.
I'm pretty sure I advocated for him
There
to
it
be
is,
on.
Brandon.
I advocated for him to be on
Stanford
that graphic.
trees on it.
Stanford Tree's on it. Denard Robinson's on it. Tavon Austin's on it. Darren McFadden. Darren McFadden should be way higher, by the way. Whatever. All right.
Doing his job makes you mad.
Yeah, that's the point. Engagement. But
I was trying to tell him that's what
I will
Desmond
say-
Howard was
Tell
doing.
you about engagement. How about
I-
that guy the other day who said another show had much more followers than you, and they took a screenshot of the guy's tweet,
Oh my
and then
God. No,
they
no,
took
no.
they didn't take a screenshot of your personal Twitter.
No.
It was so dumb.
They said what they said was this. First of all, I gotta say it out now. I gotta say it out loud right now. One of our competitors, one of my friends, Josh Pate, great guy, knows what he's talking about. He's fantastic. Everything about him's good. His fans are a little cultish. They're a little crazy. They're a little out there. And the other day, one of the guys was like, "Oh, you're just mad at a follower count because you're going to pay his followers." And he took a screenshot of the Brandon Walker Show's Twitter following, which is 21,000,
which is pretty good.
and Josh Pate's personal Twitter following, which is 73, and said, "Look how many more followers he has." My personal account has 230.
Yeah.
I'm way, and it's got cult-like fans. You know cults. You're an Alabama fan.
Yeah.
That's a funny comment. QB number 8 from FCS Southeast snubbed.
Do you want to be? Do you want Dabo when it's over?
No.
We talked about this, and it's crazy.
No. Give me
he's
Kiffin.
lying. He's lying. He's
No,
lying. He's
I'm
lying.
not.
You're lying.
No.
You'd rather
You're lying.
Kiffin than Dabo?
You'd rather have Kiffin, whose best season is 10-3, over Dabo, who won 2 national titles by beating your ass.
Yes.
I know I've asked you
I
this.
need him to get out.
But can you say one more time why? Because I feel like I blocked it from my memory because of trauma.
So
Pregnancy hormones.
No trauma, because I can't imagine anybody not
Johnny
wanting.
trauma.
we'll see how Dabo is this year because I think he has a bunch to prove.
What does he have to prove? He's won 2
well,
national championships.
Also,
NIL.
do you think Lane Kiffin's going to be better than
Like,
Dabo?
since the NIL stuff, I mean, Clemson's only like step back.
Can I tell him to leave?
Yeah, well, it's your show.
Yeah. I'm the heart and soul. It's not my show.
Well,
It's a Casey show, too, but I am the heart and soul.
oh, that was nice.
Also, when we had that meeting today, and they had they had these titles for us.
Yeah, it was.
Go ahead, Travy. Thank you very much. Can you send Big T this
Yeah.
way?
Also, did you hear who
Roll
found
Tide.
God?
Who found John Harbaugh?
No, Lane Kiffin.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
All right.
he has a new pastor.
I got hold on. I got a couple things. I got to talk about. But in our meeting today, we had a brand meeting for Unnecessary Roughness. All four
I
of
don't
us.
know where this is going. And
All four of us
like
were in
it.
there. No, it's fine. They had all these titles for us,
Oh no.
and Brandon's was insane college football knowledge. Casey's was keeps everybody together and thorough college football knowledge, or something like that. Jax was unhinged third voice.
And you know what? They're
Unhinged. When have you been unhinged?
and what their knowledge or their reason for it was because they're like, oh, don't you like conspiracy theories? It's like I don't talk about them ever on here. They almost were like, oh, weren't you at January 6th?
Okay, yeah, no.
Katie
It
stats
says
with stats.
the analysis says. Determine your characters. Brandon is college football knowledge machine. Casey keeps everyone on track, adds college football info throughout. Jack Mack is the unhinged third mic. Katie stats with stats, and there you go. That's our descriptors.
I love it. And it really is like.
Unhinged third mic.
I think that we keep that though for him.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
I know, that's
I
funny.
love
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Unhinged
yeah,
third
yeah,
mic.
He is the
Yeah.
unhinged third mic.
Yeah, he doesn't get enough credit for being how crazy he is.
I mean, it's a
Guy
fact.
hangs out in U-Hauls in Oregon.
Yep.
So
Don't worry about the back of U-Hauls.
speaking of guys that hang out in the back of U-Hauls in Oregon, Big T.
Good afternoon. I was told by the person that y'all just had in here that he worked you.
Oh
Get him back.
no!
That's
him
just what I heard.
Get him back.
Oh,
No, he didn't say that.
That's what I heard.
oh
him back.
no!
Bro,
This
he
is
said,
what I want. Okay, we got football. We're gonna dive into the slate, but this is what I want. Oh, I had to get fired up. Woo! Okay, now we're talking football.
He worked your ass.
Worked me. What? Worked who?
Oh, I don't think that. I don't
what
think
he's
that.
saying.
I don't
That's
think he
what
did.
he's
But you said
saying.
you wanted to get fired up, so he
You
worked
lying?
your ass.
Are you lying?
I swear to God.
Come here. Turn that mic around. Turn that mic around. Somebody's lying here. It's either him or you. He said that you walked out here and said, I worked him. Get down to the mic.
I did not say that.
Really?
I said that your presence has been requested by Roughness.
And then what'd you say after that? As I was walking away, you weren't talking to me, you were talking to someone else.
I did not say Brandon got worked.
You said I worked him.
I worked him up.
oh, okay, that's fair.
Oh,
That's
okay.
fair.
Classic mix-up. Classic
That's
mix-up.
fair. That's fair. I wish you said I worked them.
I
That
kind
would've
of
been funny.
wish you did too.
That would have
I
been
would-
funny.
I wish next time will you please say that?
All right, I will.
Because that would have been funny.
You know, I wish
No,
that he
thank
would
you.
have.
No problem. I appreciate you coming back. Fuck that guy.
But he did rile you up. I wish, though, that there wasn't even the classic mix-up, because then I wanted to know how Big T felt okay as a Southern boy swearing on God if he was lying.
That's true.
It's just a euphemism.
I'm just saying.
It's just some people.
Well,
say.
he did.
Hello,
wasn't
walking
lying.
billboard.
Hello.
Everybody's a walking billboard today.
Go Big Orange.
Absolutely.
We have arrived. Of course, this podcast will come out a little bit after probably tonight's games, but you're playing Ball State. That's some gutsy scheduling up front. Way to
Yep.
go, guys.
Yep. And then we're playing Akron later. We took Army off to play them.
Yeah, what a bunch of pussies.
Yeah. Hate to see that.
Tennessee football, 12 games versus Ball State, 1-0
Yep.
at Pitt,
This is my
Nope.
must-win or we might be fucked forever game of the year.
at Pitt,
Fucked forever.
Yeah.
2-0
Yeah.
At least he's going all in.
Yeah. That's the most important game of the season.
versus Akron, 3-0.
That's a win.
Florida at home.
Win.
We are 4-0, ladies and gentlemen. We are 4-0, and this is your annual Tennessee delusion check.
That's not.
That's what this is.
We're a better team than them.
You have a. I don't disagree with that. I'm not disagreeing.
Playing at home.
I'm just giving it to you. Hey, and listen. There's a chance some of us could be there. I don't know.
It's possible.
It is possible.
Saturday, October 8th, after a bye week. Now, this gets tricky. On the road, Death Valley, Tiger Stadium, at LSU.
Oh man, 2 weeks of Tennessee fans being 4-0 with
Yeah.
a bye week.
See-
it would be.
Of Florida and LSU, you would rather beat Florida. But like you just said, having 2 weeks of being 4-0, and then I think we're probably going to lose that game. That's going to suck.
Oh, yes.
But if you can go 2-1 against Florida, LSU, and Pitt, golden.
All right, so you are now 4-1 after a tough loss at LSU. Tough. Everybody healthy, though? Good.
Yeah, I mean,
Good.
you always hope for that.
Coming home, third Saturday in October, as it should be. That's how God
As
intended
the Lord
it, right?
intended.
Yep, as the Lord intended.
We are third Saturday in October, October 15th, the University of Alabama in Knoxville. You're coming in 4-1. They're coming in, I assume, 5-0 after
Likely.
thumping Arkansas, maybe?
A&M is the week
They
before.
play A&M the week.
Oh, yeah, okay. So they're 5-0. They're rolling. They're feeling good.
Maybe 4-1.
Are you 5-1 coming out? Or are you 4?
Listen,
Oh, boy.
I really think that's going to be a very good game.
Oh, boy.
I don't know that we have enough to win it yet,
I know.
but I think it was a 7-point game in the fourth quarter last year. We're playing at home.
What was it at the end of the fourth quarter?
It's not important. They're a very
Feels
good
like
team.
that's the most important thing.
They were the best team, second best team in the country.
Well, not really.
We're gonna lose, but it's gonna be a very, very good.
Valiant effort.
Yeah.
A valiant
I honestly
effort.
thought you were going to talk your way into saying you guys were going to beat Alabama.
Well, give
let's
it till
let's not.
October.
Also, we got
but
another one coming up.
Okay.
All right, we're 4-2. 2-game losing streak after a 4-0 start. But listen,
that's
tough-
why you start 4-0.
tough schedule right there, right? Tough schedule. We got UT Martin as a little palate cleanser. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and give it to you. We're 5-2,
Yep.
and then we welcome a team that, boy, they're a little big for their britches.
They sure are.
They got a quarterback who thinks they're all outstanding. He's going to be a first-round pick. The Kentucky Wildcats, October 29th, come to Knoxville.
Can I interject really quick before
Yeah.
he says that? I don't want to spoil the show that comes out on Saturday. I was disappointed you had no pushback when this team was mentioned, when Kentucky was
I don't
mentioned.
even remember mentioning the
Oh,
team.
okay.
I really don't.
Okay, we'll talk about it later.
Wow, that was like my wife saying we'll talk about it later. That's you do not want to talk about it later when she says it like that.
Nobody wants to talk about it.
Yeah.
Later.
Well, I would talk about it right now, but I don't want
It's
to
like a
spoil the
Seinfeld.
show.
Later, she's going to text me like, I just think it's funny.
Oh, yeah. ...
Big T, you're 5-2. You got Kentucky coming into Knoxville. What are we doing?
Listen, Kentucky's had some pretty good teams the last few years.
Really good
and they
teams, yeah.
still lose to Tennessee every time.
Not really.
That's what
Not
they
every
do.
time.
They've won 3 times since 1984.
Yeah, they won 2 years ago at your place.
And then they beat.
Every time.
They beat us by 1 possession, the worst team we've ever had.
Every time's a stretch.
Listen,
Shit.
we beat them every time.
And Jarrett had to throw.
Last
2
year we gave
pick
up.
sixes.
Yeah, last year we
And it
gave
was
up
COVID.
42 points.
And it was
Still
COVID,
beat them.
yeah. All right, so you're 6-2.
Yeah.
Probably between 15 and 20 in the rankings, if I'm guessing.
6-2 should be top 15 with wins over Pitt, Florida,
Yeah, but
Kentucky.
you're coming off back-to-back losses to LSU, Alabama.
Okay,
That knocked you
yeah,
down.
Okay.
Um,
Good football team at that point, regardless.
well, Saturday, November 5th, you're 6-2, going to the last quarter of the season at the Georgia Bulldogs. Overrated bunch of Bulldogs.
They are. And I really, really want to say that we're going to
Ain't
win.
nobody stopping you.
I think their defense is still elite, and that
Yeah.
obviously we'd rather play a team like
Sure.
Kentucky that's going to score that you can
Sure.
score on than the
Yeah.
inverse. We'll lose to Georgia. But again, big step forward from where the game was
Has
last
Big
year.
T fallen off?
I know.
Did he fall
I've
off?
never.
Nah,
you've
you know
always
what?
painted. You
He
like to
fell
play
off.
this little
Has he fell off?
They
character.
started hanging out with these Spire folks,
Yeah.
and they've been like, we got to make sure we're building it up
I
like a
think he fell
business.
off.
We got to have some, like,
No.
our
All right.
expectations can't be too high.
You're 6-3, and I'm just going to go ahead and guess right now your final record. I think we can all see it coming from a mile away.
Yes.
So 6-3, home game Missouri. We're now 7-3, correct?
Yeah, I mean,
Now we go on the road to South Carolina. Spencer Rattler, Shane Beamer.
this is a game that I think a lot of Tennessee fans are writing off too easily.
Yeah,
We're still going to win.
still
but,
going to win.
But
yeah.
But it's
that's
not an easy win.
that's a tricky game.
okay.
Of course, the tricky game is at their place, and they're just
Yeah.
as good a football
No, I
program
think-
as you
No,
are.
but
I think they're better than Kentucky.
That's possible. They got a better coach than you guys. They got a better quarterback than you guys.
Yeah, no, the guy that was losing his shit for being down 38-7.
They do love that video.
Yeah.
They do love that
Yeah,
video.
38-7.
So you're now 8-3. Don't make that noise ever again in the show.
That was Shane Beamer.
You're now 8-3, and you finish it up by beating Vanderbilt on the road to go 9-3.
60 points or so, yeah.
You don't make the SEC championship game, but I'm saying at 6-2 in the SEC, 9-3 overall. No. You're 5-3 in the SEC, 9-3 overall. You're
Citrus.
second or third in the East, right? Let's see.
Probably second because
Second 'cause he beat everybody.
Yeah.
Second, you beat Florida.
Yeah. So you're second in the East, and you go to I'm say what's the maybe the Capital One Bowl, which probably isn't the Capital One Bowl anymore. The Outback Bowl, something like
If
that.
we're 9-3,
No. You know what? You might be.
You might be New Year's Six Bowl.
Yeah, you might be peach. You might be cotton or peach.
I think Citrus is the floor at 9-3. But yeah, I think you could get into a New Year's Six game.
Yeah.
depending on
If we do that,
Now,
listen.
Here's my question.
Len,
How are
oh,
you
no,
going to do
just
that?
Interrupted his go.
If we go 9-3, and let's say we win the bowl game, we win 10
You're
games,
unhinged.
and Nico is coming in
Here we
next
go.
season.
Here we go.
Y'all better pray that doesn't happen.
There it is.
Y'all
There it is.
really
There
need
it
to
is.
There it is.
listen. No, I've said this forever because we've been really good at basketball recently until
Yeah.
the tournament, granted,
Yes.
and then we
Yeah,
fuck
no,
up. But
yeah.
like I've said forever, we were best baseball team in history. Y'all better pray we never get good at
Hold
football
on.
again.
Stop,
you really
stop,
need to pray.
Stop. First of all, I don't care if you get good at football again.
You
Secondly,
do.
I love the phrase. I love what you just said. We're really good at basketball until the tournament starts.
Well,
then you're not
listen,
really good at basketball.
That is the
Greatest
most
baseball team ever.
ineffective postseason
Greatest
sports
baseball-
at determining the best
Hold
team.
on, wait time.
But the best
Hold on.
postseason.
Greatest baseball team in history that didn't make it out of your home super regional.
Regional, yeah.
Didn't make it to Omaha.
the super regionals where bad teams
You
play.
didn't make it to Omaha. You didn't make it to Omaha.
We did the year before.
Who won?
We're still going to be the best program
Yeah,
in the country
who won the year
this
before?
Mississippi State. They were awesome baseball.
It was awesome. Didn't we have a good time out
Yeah,
there?
we had fun.
It is tough to say it's the best baseball team of all time. You don't even make it to the
So here's the thing.
Baseball, the most randomized sport in terms of outcome.
You certainly
Playing
weren't
a
saying
best
that
of-
during the
Playing
season.
a best of 3 series.
You certainly weren't saying that during the season. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Because we kicked the shit out of everybody.
This isn't well, not everybody, because you played Notre Dame, they beat you. So you're 9-3, and I'm just gonna say you beat. Let's see. I'm gonna put you in the Cotton Bowl. I'm gonna let you beat Oklahoma State. I'm gonna let you beat them.
Deal. Fuck Mike Gundy.
I'm gonna let you beat them 45-20. Good win, solid win,
Sign me up.
solid win. And now you're 10-3, and you got Nico Imaleva coming in.
Iamaliava.
Sure. Hendon Hooker, is he coming back or is he
No,
gone?
he's done.
He's
Joe
done?
Milton will still be back though.
Oh, good.
I don't think that matters at all.
He's a good player.
So you think 10-3 Tennessee with a freshman quarterback is ready to roll next year?
I think Milton might be the quarterback, but
You don't want that.
I think he's a really good player.
No, you
I
don't.
think he's improved.
No, you
you
don't.
I
No,
think
you
he's
don't.
improved a
Think
lot
that.
this offseason. No, people do think that.
Who thinks that?
I've heard a
The
lot of
same
good
people
things.
that think
Based
every
on
player in
what?
Orange is
He's
good.
improved.
Well, hopefully, if you guys think he's a
Listen.
good player.
That guy's going to get a shot in the NFL. He's not going to. I don't think he's an NFL starter. He's going to go.
Oh
to
no, you don't think he's an NFL starter?
He's going to go to an NFL training camp. Jerry Garantano is about to be
Is-
the Cardinals' backup
Is this the
quarterback.
guy-
Okay,
Joe Milton, the guy
can
that
play.
ran out of bounds on 4th down with 2 seconds
The
left.
play before that, he threw a dime that should have won the game. Nobody talks about that.
You think that
Built
if,
like a brick house too.
Yeah,
you
Brick
think
Shithouse.
he's made enough stride?
I don't know. I'm not at the practices, but
You just said that everybody you talk to says he's good.
the people who are seem to think he's.
Name a
he's
bad
gonna
player
be-
on Tennessee.
There are a lot. I don't want to get myself in trouble, but
That's a
I'll.
company man.
All right, Big T, I
All right,
needed that.
bless
Thank you.
you.
So we're looking at a 10-3 season. Tennessee probably finishing.
I'm fired up now.
Tennessee probably finishing between number 8 and 12 in the country at 10-3.
That'll get you going.
And
That'll
the
get you going.
off-season's
And then they
gonna
got
get
the
you
5-star quarterback coming in that only cost them $8 million.
But he's not going to play. Joe Milton's going to play.
Well, Joe Milton, yeah. Well, in a future NFL star,
yes,
Joe
yes,
Milton.
yes, yes.
Well, we'll have to see what happens.
One more thing before you go.
Stuff to step in as a freshman.
One more thing before you go. Dan Mullen, former Florida coach. I'm just going to use you for a new segment. Dan Mullen now with ESPN released his SEC East preseason rankings. I think it's very reasonable. Georgia number 1. Hey, they're defending national champs. They got Stetson Bennett. The Kentucky Wildcats with Will Levis, great quarterback, I've always said. Tennessee Volunteers number 3. The Florida Gators 4. South Carolina Gamecocks 5. Missouri Tigers 6. Vanderbilt Commodores 7th. Big T, your thoughts?
I don't hate anything except Kentucky. I mean, I
You mean on
really
this graphic or just in life?
both. Well, no, I hate Florida generally also. And Georgia, but the
Those are all
Kentucky
red
hype.
states.
Yeah, the Kentucky hype. I'm just
Georgia
not.
ain't a red state no more.
They will be when Herschel wins.
He's up in the polls right now. Yeah, I mean, Kentucky's gonna
God, a
go.
freshman.
Kentucky benefits from having the easiest schedule I've ever seen in my entire life, and even at that, I think they're gonna win 8 games.
Fair.
Y'all play Ball State in Akron?
And at Pitt,
At Pitt.
Alabama.
Yeah,
at
that's
Georgia.
SEC. That's SEC schedule. There's
Oh
nothing.
man,
They don't
that's
play
a really-
Alabama?
They play Miami, Ohio.
No, their
Northern
schedule is
Illinois.
a joke.
They just play the entire Rust Belt.
I don't think I don't. I think Louisville's a little more dangerous.
Oh, that's
this
a
year
good,
than
that
it's-
is true.
yeah.
That is a good out of
Yeah.
conference. That's a comparable to
It's
Pittsburgh.
a Pitt. Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Especially well, it's
On
not
a
the
year-to-year
road, but-
basis, I would say that's very comparable.
I would even say this year. I think Pitt's a little
This
bit
year,
better.
yeah.
But,
Last
but
year,
like,
no.
And Pitt's on the road.
Yeah, no, yeah. But you played them at home last year.
All right. Thank you,
you,
Big
Big
T.
T.
Congratulations
Thank
on
y'all.
your incredible season upcoming.
Thank you. I'm really looking forward to it.
Congrats on your win tonight.
Thank you.
Oh.
I just don't know what to do with these people around here. Let's talk about.
Can I tell you something that we
Yeah.
need to step up, because I can already or hear it, see it, whatever. You know, we've just spent a lot of time on the SEC because
Yeah.
people in the office love the SEC. We've got to get some people that work at Barstool that are going to piss us off from other conferences.
Yeah, you're right.
Like,
You're
you-
right.
Trent.
Well, listen, Big F. If Big
but
F
we
could
can't,
piss us
though.
off.
Well, right, but like outside of the people who are on the Barstool College Football Show, Big
Yeah.
F, Dan, and Dave, which is like obviously.
I mean, we could bring Jake Malisak and Virginia. It's ridiculous.
Oh, he will piss
but
you
I'm
off
saying
so
like
quick.
from like a big program standpoint, we have the SEC guys, and every single time we need to hype you up, obviously using Alabama
you're
will
right.
work.
We need
like
we
and
need
listen to me.
We
I'm
need the
looking
piss
dead
and
in the
vinegar
camera.
across this country.
Why is it that the Big Ten sometimes can be the best conference in the country, and the fans don't piss us off as much in this office in person?
Well, because their wins and losses don't affect us on a personal level.
But still, there's still not people in this office outside of
Well, outside. Listen,
outside of Big Ev.
Big F could piss me off.
I think
Dan could piss
Big
me
Ev's
off.
kind of reasonable. Like, he's reasonable talking about football. He can get in
Big
the
Ev?
mood. He can get in
He's
the zone.
fat though.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Save that for Saturday. But
I'm sorry.
saying, like,
I'm not
you're
the
right.
unhinged one. That's my
Yeah.
fault.
You're
Yeah.
right of it. Like, it doesn't affect you on a day-to-day basis like it does inside your conference. But even just like the passion, like we're taking Dan, Dave, and Big Ev off the table because we do another show with them. In general, they're like, what, Jeff Delo's going to come in here and talk shit about Penn State to piss you off? That's not going to piss you off because he doesn't like Penn State.
Yeah, you're
half
right.
the
But I
time.
do think we have a former intern now full time, the good kid with the good broadcasting voice.
Yeah, he walks around in a Sean Clifford jersey.
in his
You
Sean
want me to
Clifford
go get
jersey,
him?
and
Okay.
and he thinks they're going 11-1.
Okay, see, that would have...
That'll get you going.
Roan's
The only
a Penn
thing
State
is
fan. Roan can't ever
That
piss me
kid
off.
is so well put together and such a nice guy and rational. I think he would just like he wouldn't.
I'm going to
We
argue...
gotta go. We gotta
Can
get to the
I
slate.
know,
We gotta get to the
but
slate.
can we not get like like a
Idiots?
hardcore Texas fan in here and a hardcore Alex Bennett's an Oklahoma fan? Like she probably wouldn't piss us off.
Yeah. Well, Ben Mentz is an LSU fan.
But why do we want him on again?
I'm talking about outside the SEC.
I can see Alex Bennett pissing me off.
About Oklahoma?
Yeah. We should get Graham in here.
Would,
No, he's going to be
Graham.
pissed. He hasn't masturbated
Graham.
in weeks.
would Trent do it for Iowa?
No, Trent doesn't know how to piss
Trent-
people off.
Yeah.
He's too nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was
James.
also like the fattest baby ever.
So was
Don't
Jeff
do
D. Lowe.
that.
So was Jeff D. Lowe.
Yeah.
He was fat too?
Yeah,
He
he
could-
won.
He won an award too.
He won an award in Connecticut.
We have multiple fat baby award winners.
Does that surprise you?
You got to try to beat him.
Oh no, I'm okay.
You got to try to beat him.
No, I
She's
would
trying to
pref-
stay intact.
I'm trying to stay intact and also get my pre-baby body back. But the idea of
Which you will.
oh, thank you, Jack.
Nah,
An 11-pounder? No fucking thank you. Wasn't Jeff 11 pounds?
Yes,
I was 10.4.
You were.
What the
I mean,
fuck?
Katie's-
I mean, that's believable. I mean, she's
I mean,
she's a
yeah,
tall
you're
girl.
what, 6'1", 6'2" now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, like Jeff D. Lowe's not tall. Like that,
No.
it's not always
Sorry,
believable.
relax. Just relax.
What was
I'm-
Mac?
My
Ask Mac how big of a baby
He was
he
like
was.
about the same. I'm asking.
Good
how big
Lord.
were you, Brandon?
Huh?
I'm gonna ask your mom.
Oh, I think I was 9'4".
I'm gonna ask her.
Oops.
Your mom and I have been texting, by the way.
I understand that my mom is texting you. I don't like it at all.
She's giving me tips on how to really upset you sometimes.
Got it. All right, so we have huge games this weekend. Really,
There's some things you don't touch with a man.
really solid. I think it's a solid week 1 slate. I think there's
Yeah, it should be fun.
I think there's some meat on the bone here. There's some good appetizers, some good meat, some good not only good like main courses like Ohio State, Notre Dame, and Florida, Utah. You also have your under the radar games like UTSA, Houston. I think is really good. I think ECU, NC State's
Rutgers,
really
Boston
good.
College is kind of a East Coast game.
I don't hate like TCU, Colorado, and one of those can I look away from it games.
Yes.
I heard TCU. The TCU kid here said they're going to go with a 3-quarterback system.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what?
He
can
actually
piss me
has
off.
a
Dawson
good,
can piss me
like
off.
he knows a lot of people
Oh.
within
Yeah.
the program, so that's probably true.
That's
Not
probably
him.
true,
He
but
did
that's
it-
the dumbest thing I've ever heard. That's
He
worse than
explained
Harbaugh.
The full it's probably
No, he explained it to me too, but again, 3-quarterback system is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
no. Make a choice.
When I play NCAA 14, when I
Yes.
play a dynasty and I get like 5 years in and I'm winning the national title every year and I'm getting every recruit I want, I play a 3-quarterback system usually because I have like 3 5-star freshmen. I just want to see which one I like better. But TCU doesn't have that. I don't think they have 3 5-star quarterbacks.
He's a really nice kid, but I'll tell you what, if you guys like bringing in anybody that's pro TCU, that pisses me off. If you
That's
want
fair.
to.
Oh, I would. Well, we will have him in very soon.
Well, we could have TJ in, but he's like, I really do hate Rutgers. That's I truly
Piss Jack
hate
off,
Rutgers.
Piss the unhinged guy off. Before you get to the slate, though, just a reminder, Katie's got it up here on the screen. The Barstool College Football Show is back, 10 a.m. on Saturday. By the way, this still photo is great. You look not happy to be there. The rest of us look fantastic.
Yeah, fine. Whatever.
But he has the crown.
He
do
does
have
have the crown. So a little teaser. We do announce the entire slate at the end of the show.
Which is where we're going 9 times this year.
9 times. Usually it's week to week. You find out like the week before potentially if we're going to be there. We unveil the whole thing. And I will say this, it's not a spoiler. It's just a teaser. It is the hardest I have ever laughed. And it wasn't a fake laugh. I was crying laughing within 5 minutes of the open of that show because of how asinine this company is.
It's one of my favorite moments that's ever happened on that show.
We had a photographer
It might
there.
be my favorite moment that ever happened on this show.
Colleen, who does a lot of our photography for merch and stuff, she was there and she caught a picture that has I'm crying in it laughing. And when you have like that real laugh from
Yeah.
Dave, you know it has to be awesome. It is probably my top funniest moment at someone else's expense. That's the problem.
Somebody on the
somebody
show.
on the show. Jack,
So-
it is an all-time
Now,
could never happen at a network.
At the
moment.
end, we do announce where we're going. The Barstool College Football Show 9 times this year on the road. And I will accept any prayers that you guys would like to send based on the release of that schedule.
I will say,
Yes.
a show that premiered earlier said where we are going week 1. So if you guys want us,
We're going to
about
Iowa.
Week 1, like it's
They
out
said it
there.
on Pick'em.
Yeah.
Next week,
Iowa State at Iowa.
Iowa State at Iowa. Daddy's coming home. Here I come, bitches.
And also, we mentioned Trent. Trent will be there.
I
Fat
don't care.
baby.
I don't care. I
That show
gotta
will
get my
be
mind right.
Can we get his corn suit back from that
Oh,
video?
man.
Let's talk football.
Let's talk football.
Ohio State plays Notre Dame. That is your biggest game of the week. I don't think it's the most important game of the week. I think that belongs to like what's happening tonight, Penn State, Purdue, because the Big Ten West is wide open. If Purdue could throw an early punch, they could really help themselves out, and Penn State needs to win early too. I think that's a very important game. But as far as getting this season started off right, it's number 2 against number 5. gigantic game. It's a game that has two of the 5 most iconic programs in
Yes.
the history of college football. Yeah.
Yes.
They don't play often. They played 6 times in the entire history of both schools. 2 were in the 30s, and the last 4 all won by Ohio State. I think they played twice in the 90s and
Fiesta Bowl.
and then in 2 Fiesta Bowls in recent years. So it's not, they don't get together often. It's going to be an incredible uniform and helmet matchup.
Yeah, it is.
It's going to look beautiful. It's going to be under the lights, the horseshoe. It's going to be awesome. But will it be an awesome game?
No.
I don't think it will either. And Notre Dame fans take this the wrong way. Every college football fan takes this the wrong way. If you say, I think your team's going to lose, then you think I hate you. I don't hate you. In fact, I've been pro Notre Dame for a while on this podcast. I think Notre Dame doesn't get enough credit. Notre Dame is a top 5 to 6 program over the last 5 years. They're incredible. But you're going up against a team that's among the 2 or 3 best programs in America who is peaking this year. Ohio State's going to have the best offense in college football this year. I have no doubt about that. They have a top 3 quarterback, a top 3 running back, a top 1 receiver, a top offensive line, and their defense, I think, will be much improved. I don't think anybody in the country is walking into Columbus and beating Ohio State this week, and I don't think Notre Dame's staying very close.
Notre Dame fans, and by the way, I stand with you on the fact that they shouldn't hate you as much as they do, because you have been. You've been very pro Notre Dame since we started doing this podcast. I have not, so I guess whatever, because go to the playoff and actually do something, and maybe I won't be. But this game, if you say Ohio State is not only going to win, is going to cover the spread, which is 17.5 right now on the Barstool Sportsbook, it's like, oh my God, you hate everything Notre Dame, you hate South Bend, you hate the Irish, you hate Catholics probably, you just hate it across the board. It's because Ohio State is that good, and Notre Dame is overrated at number 5 in the country. That's not to say they're not the 10th team in the country right now. That's not to say, maybe they're 7 or 8. Being 5th in the country right now is an overrated spot for Notre Dame, and Ohio State had the best offense in the country last year. Their defense was abysmal. It's going to get better, and you have everything back on offense. Why all of a sudden is it so bad to be like Ohio State's that much better of a team?
I will say this about Notre Dame being overrated, in fairness to them. After number 3, I think everybody looks overrated.
I don't disagree with that.
I really do. Like Clemson at 4. Did Clemson earn being number 4? Or are they there because of what they did previously? They're there because of what they did previously.
And they won 10 games last year.
Did Notre Dame earn number 5? I don't think so. And
No.
listen, and I'm not trying to hate on your team. Has
okay.
Texas A&M earned 6? No, I don't think the answer is yes.
No, I agree with you that you can make the argument for everybody. And again, Notre Dame fans are going to be like, oh, you hate us so much. It's like, I still think, regardless of who it is, and this is including USC, by the way, and so I know we're really high on USC, but if you have a new coach and you have a new quarterback and you have a new situation, and even though, yes, Marcus Freeman has been at Notre Dame, I get that, that still, to me, doesn't warrant a preseason ranking of number 5.
Well, I got 2 things about this game. Number 1, I think this is the Georgia Clemson from last year, in that, hindsight being 2020, I thought it was going to set somebody up to win the national championship, and it was going to not really hurt the other one. The other one would be fine. I think the same is true here. Ohio State losing would hurt them more, but Notre Dame losing this game doesn't really hurt them.
No.
I don't think it hurts them at all. They got Clemson at home later. They got USC later, and they're going to get better as the year goes on. They got BYU. They have a really tough schedule, but if they were to go 10-2, 11-1, they're going to be right in the mix at the end. They don't have to win this game to matter this year in college football. Now, if they want it, all bets are off for a lot of things.
I have a question, though, with that.
Yeah.
Is there a number where it does actually hurt them? Because I think that there is.
Anything under like 30, I think they're fine. Anything under 30.
You think they could lose by 30 to Ohio State and be fine?
I think they'd be fine, yeah.
I think come down to, unless they won out and they beat
I think
everybody
that
else.
would, at that point, that's a statement about Ohio State, not Notre Dame. And now listen, in fairness, Ohio State has not always come through in this spot. When they bring in a big name program to Columbus, we just saw it last year. Oregon walked in there and beat them. Thumped them right on the skull.
Virginia Tech beat them when they won the national championship.
And we are assuming that Jim Knowles, the defensive coordinator from Oklahoma State, is going to make a difference immediately. So we're making a lot of assumptions for Ohio State, but
so if we have a team like Notre Dame,
yeah,
and you want to beat Ohio State in this game, how are you going to go about it, right?
Yeah.
You want to make the game as short as possible.
You want the ball on your side.
And when you run it, you want to snap that ball with 2 seconds on the play clock because less time to be in C.J. Stroud's hands. Now, let's say we saw it in the last game that Ohio State played, the last 2 games they played. They were kind of soft. And if you give the ball to your running backs and then you have a 2 tight end set, we know Notre Dame has unlimited 6'8" or 6'4" white tight ends. You just continue to pound the rock, and then from there, play action passes. I think they have a chance to stay in it. But that being said, what happens if Ohio State just goes out there, goes ping, 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 touchdown in 5 plays?
Which is what I think they're going to do.
That's fair.
That game plan is solid and makes a lot of sense. But if Ohio State receives the opening kickoff, scores a touchdown, Notre Dame goes 3 and out, Ohio State scores a touchdown, the game plan's gone. The game plan's gone. You can't do it.
You're right.
You can't do it.
The game plan that I just laid out
is
incredibly.
You have to start well.
And when you're playing when you're a 17.5-point dog, the game has to go perfect for you to be involved in it.
And I think that, and it makes complete sense what you're saying. I think the issue is that because it is like Notre Dame, they're in a situation where they're really hyped, but it is a new coaching staff for the most part. But then Ohio State, and I know I'm the one on the podcast thinks Ohio State's going to lose to Michigan. I get that. But just even looking at the names they have on offense with C.J. Stroud, Travy Henderson, and Jackson Smith and Jigba, it's like just saying them scares me.
There's a legitimate chance, more than legitimate. If I name the 10 best offensive players in the country this year, Ohio State's got 3 of them.
Definitely.
They may have 4.
Who's your fourth? One of the tackles? Oh, Marvin Harrison Jr. Yeah, he could be the next guy.
Their offensive line is great.
Yeah,
aren't they all like in the top 10 Heisman odds?
Well, the first 3 are. Yeah, the first 3 are.
So Marvin probably is like 120.
I think Travion Henderson has a chance to be one of the. I don't know if he's the best running back in the country, but I think he has a chance to be viewed as the best running back in the country.
We got some really great running backs this year, man.
C.J. Stroud, we really do.
Yeah, when you think, I was just thinking about going through my head. We got some great running backs.
Yeah, and just in the Big Ten too.
Big Ten, and then you look at the Big 12. Deuce Vaughn, as Katie brought up.
If Chase Brown's going to be good at Illinois,
yeah.
But if you look at Ohio State has the quarterback, wide receiver, running back. Texas has a quarterback, running back, wide receiver. Who else has like that 3 trifecta?
I think Alabama's going to have it. We don't know the receiver yet. But they've got Bryce Young and they've got Jahmyr Gibbs, and the receiver will probably be Jermaine Burton from Georgia.
But
you could make an argument that Travis Dye, Caleb Williams, and Jordan Addison.
I think you could very easily make that argument. And
there's
others.
There's going to be others that come to fruition throughout the season too. But there's zero doubt that by far the most proven one is at Ohio State.
100%.
Because yes, I mean Texas has that, but we can assume
we're guessing on Quinn
we're
Ewers,
guessing on Quinn Ewers. But with Ohio State, it's like just again, if you think Notre Dame or anybody else in that 5th spot would be overrated right now, what you know for an absolute fact is that those 3 guys are 3 of the best players in the country.
Well, let me play devil's advocate.
Okay.
Ohio State had one of the biggest problems in football last year when you line up and the other people are tougher than you. If you line up and the other person's tougher than you, it doesn't matter how fast you are, how good your plays are. It doesn't matter. If the other person's tougher than you, you're ultimately going to lose that game. And you're going to lose a couple games. Can it be fixed in game 1 of a new season? Because they were soft against Michigan. They were soft against Oregon. They ended up winning a shootout against Utah, but I would argue they were soft there as well. So can Jim Knowles, who had a top 5 defense at Oklahoma State with not really any big-time stars, can he fix it in game 1?
I don't think completely. And that's a fair devil's advocate. I don't think that every single problem that Ohio State had last year is magically going to be fixed in week 1. However, I think that enough is going to be fixed and enough will be better to beat Notre Dame in week 1.
Is the offense so good that the problem might not matter this time?
In this game or this season?
In this regular season. Because I know if they played Alabama, it would matter. But in this regular season.
I do think that it will matter because I think that in just like in any conference where the top is very good and you have to play every single week, that I think that if you have the same problem you had last year, they will run into a Big Ten team at some point that it won't matter how good their offense is, which I think is very rare, but we saw it happen last year. Like we said, it's not like their offense needed to take a step up. They were the best offense in the country. However, I think because Notre Dame is so new in certain areas that the defense just has to play presentably well and they win this game.
Now, I want to say again, as far as week 1 games, this is one of my favorite in recent memory.
And we will be streaming it.
We will be streaming it from the Barstool Sportsbook house over there in Jersey. It's one of my favorite games in recent memory. Just the silver helmets against the gold helmets. Everything's going to be beautiful. It's going to be fantastic. I can't wait.
Ev and Chief there, so we'll have a Barstool on Barstool rivalry.
Oh, I'm sure that'll be electric. We got a couple more games. Well, not a couple more games. I don't care if we go another hour and a half. We'll see. We're just going to go until we stop going.
I'm down.
Florida, Utah.
Really interesting.
Really a super interesting game. Yes.
This is my issue, and I know we have to do it because of the production schedule, but I want to talk to you about things that were said on the
Don't worry about it. Let's just talk football.
No, I know. It's about this game. It's about talking football. I was surprised by what you said during this game, but we'll get to it right now, and it'll come out.
Here's where I stand on this game. Everything about Utah's team, to me, is better than Florida. I like their quarterback. They have a better coaching situation. You know, this guy has been there for a while. He's one of the most underrated coaches in the country. He's incredible. His staff's incredible. Versus Napier in year one, his roster's better right now. He's older. Everything about Utah's team, to me is favorable over Florida. But the spot is favorable for Florida. The spot where we are in the evolution of these programs, where we are in football, and what Florida is bringing to the table, to me, is the perfect antidote for what Utah brings, and that's why I think Florida's winning the football game.
That surprises me.
But let me say why. There's nothing that juices you up as a fan base more than a new coach. Now, this coach might suck and get fired in 3 years, but right now, honeymoon phase, everything's decided. There's going to be 90,000 people in the Swamp, and they're going to be insane. It's going to be
hot too.
I think it's going to be one of the top atmospheres, if not the very top atmosphere in the country.
It's going to be crazy.
On Saturday, it's going to be great.
I think Arkansas might.
You have Anthony Richardson. The talent's in there. We know the talent's in there. I think he has a Heisman ceiling. If he comes out as a quarterback that meets that ceiling or 80% of that ceiling, he's the better quarterback in the game. Cam Rising's good, really good. They took off when he took over. But if Anthony Richardson is like a lottery ticket right now, and it's a 5-number lottery ticket, and like the first 3 numbers have all gone my way, and I'm thinking, boy, I'm close. If I get these last 2 numbers, whoo! That's why I think the energy of a new coach, the fans, the humidity, the quarterback, I think Florida wins the football game.
By the way, you bring up the humidity. Never forget that during Hate Week, I said that I hate the Swamp because of how hot it is, and now Florida fans are still in my mentions as of today talking about it. I'm surprised you say that just because of how – now, I think we've all said we don't think Utah will be in the top 10. We think that they might be a little bit of a disappointment from where they come in. Here's my thing about Florida. I agree with you about Anthony Richardson. I think that he has a very high ceiling. They had a weird situation last year where they didn't play him as much as we thought they would. All respect to Billy Napier. Billy Napier deserved that job. He obviously at Louisiana was a very good coach. I don't know why, but the fact that he is so anal about every single detail, to me, to push so much pressure on the fact that he's starting a new program at Florida. And maybe I'm crazy. I know Katie and I were talking about it. The fact that he insists that everyone has to have matching socks on at practice. And the quote he had was, plotted, planned, and perfected every second of everything on game day. That's just asking for disaster.
Have you seen their team photo?
I still haven't. I know you mentioned this.
Can you bring up the Florida team photo? You are not going to believe this. Their team photo. When I say I think they have 65 to 70 coaches, assistant coaches.
140 assistants to 114 players.
They have more people in polo shirts in this photo than jerseys.
It's insane to me. And
I've never seen anything like it, but now I'm not saying Casey.
Holy shit!
No.
That's Photoshopped.
That's Photoshopped as fuck.
I was like, what is happening?
It looks like the entire swamp is full of people.
Like they have 90,000 assistants.
That's like an A&M game during COVID.
Oh, haha! You wish.
That wasn't bad.
That was actually. You know what? I am not saying he is going to be a bad coach at Florida. I do not know. Now, a lot of times when you see guys come from a different level of play into the Power 5, you're like, okay, well, let's just see. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But when the articles that are being written right now are about how just down to detail he is about, I'm going to be honest, shit that doesn't matter. Things that do not matter. Does anyone wear matching white socks on a daily basis and think, oh, if I don't wear matching white socks, then I'm not going to perform as well today?
I get it.
No one cares.
It's like a team mentality. Like
I get it.
Yeah.
I think
But
he came into a program that was all over the place. He saw it was very messy. And when you come in, you got to set the tone and you have to say, hey.
Well, now, wait a minute. If he's so anal, I don't like the number situation on the front row. Are those captains?
It must
goes
be
0,
seniors.
2, 40, 41, 45, 51, 86, and then it's all in order. 0, 1, 1, 2. Also, Billy Napier looks photoshopped in there.
He does look photoshopped in there. It's a very odd.
Anyway.
But no, I agree with
they
you,
all
Jack.
look photoshopped in there, by the way.
They don't look like they were actually in the swamp taking the photo. They were somewhere else and they just plopped them in. Jack, I agree with you that you have to change the culture. I think that, like, if you say, hey, guys, you have to wear suits when you get off the plane. Hey, you have to wear XYZ. But it's like if the things that are being written about you going into week 1 and you're playing a top 10 team and it's all about this, that you've planned the seconds down to what you're going to be doing on game day before kickoff, to me that puts a lot of pressure on, hey, I'm so overthinking this that if the plan doesn't go as planned early in the game, that shit's going to hit the fan. That's the way that I see it. I also think that if they were playing not a top 10 team, potentially that wouldn't matter. Playing Utah to open week 1 with all of these.
I think playing top 10 team is best case scenario for him. I think it's best case scenario. I think it's going to get everybody
until he
locked
gets hit in
in.
the mouth.
Yeah, but this is
If you plan every single detail and something goes awry, what usually happens?
Now, by picking Florida, I'm going against one of my new tenets, which is it's kind of dumb to trust a team in week 1 who was so bad they got their coach fired last year.
Right.
Like that's what I'm doing here. But and one more question: Do y'all think Megan Mullen's still going to show up and get her kiss from everybody, or
Oh, no. That's a good
I
point.
hope so. I hope
Who's she
so.
kissing this year? You know who she's kissing?
high school?
No, she goes to the ESPN.
Oh, she's kissing like Reese Davis.
Yeah, Reese Davis. Like, yeah.
She's kissing all the analysts. I think that Florida was such a disaster, and I know a lot of it was culture, and he needs to come in and fix what Dan Mullen didn't do well, and all of that. It's just a ton of pressure on this team, and with Utah being as experienced as they are, and with Cam Rising being as good as he was, that's a recipe for disaster.
So you think Utah's going to walk in there and
I mean,
walk out with a
are they
pretty
minus
solid win?
2.5 right now?
Yeah.
The line scares me. This one, I think Utah's a better team. They're at all the playoffs, but why is it 2.5?
I don't think that it's going to be an ass kicking by any stretch. Now, would I be surprised if it was? I wouldn't be like over the top shocked, but I do think Utah is going to win. And I'm not. That's going back to what you were saying about Notre Dame. If they lose to Ohio State, that their season is not over. I don't think Florida's season is going to go in the shit hole if they lose to Utah, because Utah is a top 10 team right now.
The Florida season isn't about this season to me. It's not about this season.
That's
it's about future season.
Billy Napier could be a fantastic long-term coach at Florida. I have no idea. I think to say he is going to win his first game as head coach with all the pressure he has and everything that Florida went through over the last season and a half, and it's against a top team in the Big Ten.
They have a talented roster, man.
In the Pac-12.
In Pac-12, excuse me,
sorry.
Pac-12 in the top 10. The
They
top
have
10 in the
They have a
Pac-12.
really talented roster.
They do. They always
And they
will.
also have
with a
the-
really good quarterback.
They have that quarterback, man. That I don't
And-
know how
Had
good.
him last year.
I don't know.
And-
Yeah, but last year's not this year. Like last year, it was a growing period.
I mean,
It's like the difference to me. I know this because I'm a Mullen guy. The difference in 2013 Dak Prescott and 2014 Dak Prescott, the guy who played well in the Liberty Bowl against Memphis or against Rice, or the guy who beat 3 top 10 teams and went to number 1 in the
And
country.
that's fair.
That's a big difference.
That's fair. I think that we're a little bit downplaying, by we, I mean, like, as a podcast in this moment.
Cam Rising, by the way, looking like the Count of Monte Cristo.
Oh, he does.
up
Or like a
there.
Zorro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wasn't the starter last season. This is
No, it
his
was
first
Charlie
off
Brewer.
season.
Yeah, it was Charlie
as
Brewer.
a full starter, all the attention.
But I think we're downplaying how good Cam Rising was when he was playing. last
I
year.
don't downplay anything about Utah. I love them, but the spot tells me.
I'm
Florida.
taking Utah.
Let's move to.
I would like that on record.
I think that is going to be one of the most electric stadium atmospheres. Of course, the Horseshoe will be electric. That one will be
The night
electric.
game at the
What
Swamp
do you
will be
think
great.
the number one's going to be?
I don't know. I think it's
said
probably
Florida.
Florida, Utah, but this one will be very close. Arkansas fans are absolutely lit up about Sam Pittman. They ought to be. They should be. There's no reason they shouldn't be. Listen, Arkansas was in the dumps. They were terrible. They were the worst program in the SEC until he got there. He hired some great coordinators, and he rescued it quickly. They had a bad season with some good signs in 2020, and then last year they had a good season. They went 9-4. I don't love them this season, but I love them against Cincinnati. Cincinnati coming off the playoff season, they're coming off. Desmond Ritter's not there anymore, but it's in Fayetteville in a season where Arkansas believes they could win 10, 11 games. They think they could win the West. They think all these things. That stadium is going to be fucking rocking. This is a perfect game to start because you have a playoff team. You have a team that was in the top 10 all year last year. You have a team that has made a name for itself. You have a team without a quarterback who's going to come in there, and Arkansas is going to beat the shit out of them.
As much as
it's my favorite bet on the board, and there goes my voice.
Yeah, I was about to say, there it goes. I was actually trying to think. I was like, is it a Monday? Is his voice? No, it's just all day for you. Every day, all day now. As much as we like to give Arkansas a hard time, mostly the fan base, this is one of those games that is just screaming for Arkansas to be as high as they possibly can because, Cincinnati, I think it's pretty easy to say there's no way they're in contention for the college football playoff. To win the AAC, fine. I mean, they're still Cincinnati. But Arkansas is so high on themselves, and I think it's a little bit delusional. What can you do? They should be high on Sam Pittman. And Cincinnati is not Cincinnati of 2021. We know that. And they love KJ Jefferson. Boy, he is Jesus.
Well, I mean,
he is Jesus Christ to them.
But he has played like Jesus Christ.
Well, I think he had Jesus Christ as a receiver last year. Treylon Burks was very, very good. He had like 66% of their catches at one point in the season. Like he had just an absurd amount of their offense.
Cincinnati
only
31%
of the receiving yards
103rd in returning production. That's going to hurt. And that returning production's big ones like Sauce Gardner shut down half the field.
This game reminds me a lot of Arkansas Texas last year when Texas walked into Arkansas with a ranking because they had they start 2-0 or something. They walked in with a ranking and you thought, okay, well they're going to be good, and Arkansas beat the piss out of them like 40-17 or something. I think the same thing's going to happen here. Cincinnati's walking in with a small number next to them. Mm-hmm. Arkansas is going to thump them pretty good, and that'll be that.
And the issue with Cincinnati, I think, though, that will be exposed here is they had two generational talents on their team. Sauce Gardner, top 4 pick, and then Desmond Ridder. And losing that and then truly going up against a team that's much more talented than you, not much more, but significantly.
Much more physical, too.
It's going to be exposed, and you're going to have to – I'm not downplaying Cincinnati as they're still a top 20, 25 team in my mind, but this is going to be a really, really tough task. And if they pull it off, man, I mean, Fickle then goes to this would be a very impressive victory.
This would be huge.
I want to ask you a question.
I'm ready.
KJ Jefferson is a top blank quarterback in the SEC.
I think he's top 5, top 3 even.
Top 3?
I wouldn't say top 3.
So, Bryce?
Yeah.
Hendon Hooker.
Hendon.
So you have him better than Will Rogers?
I think he's right in that.
Spencer Rattler?
Well, yeah.
You like...
I'd rather have KJ than Spencer.
You'd rather have KJ than Spencer. Okay.
Yeah, for Arkansas this year, 100%.
No, you're starting the Jack Mack team. You need a quarterback. Who are you taking? Spencer Rattler?
This year, I'll take KJ.
I would take Spencer, but I do think he's a top 5 quarterback.
I think KJ and Stetson are very, very similar, except for the fact that, KJ can run a little bit more, but, I think you put...
I don't think KJ Jefferson can throw nearly as well as these other guys. Listen, he had... 2,600 yards last year. I think 1,400 of that was Treylon Burks. He's not going to have the weaponry he had around him. Now, he can run, and they're going to have the best running game in the league. They're very physical up front. Their offensive line's good. When it comes to a point where he's going to have to throw it, I don't see it with KJ.
Jaden Hassel was the guy. You're going to have to step up, bro.
He is very good on his feet. Looking at this, so Katie has, and I know people can't see this, so I'm going to explain what we're looking at. She just pulled up the stats from last year of the SEC passing stats.
Yeah.
The fact that Max Johnson had that many yards and is not starting is,
Well, they were always behind, so
No, I know, but I'm just saying the transfer portal has helped so many players make that next leap, and then obviously it's going to be a problem for
his coach and offensive coordinator left.
I see a name right there, Jason Brown, which, whatever. Jason Brown, by the way, the coach from Independence College, the guy that cussed on Last Chance U.
Mm-hmm.
He's on Twitter a lot.
Well, we're in the DMs, buddy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I may have agreed to go on his show, and I may have invited him to this show.
Did you slide in first, or you slid in first?
You know who has a really good show?
Who?
and I hate to say it,
Yeah.
but he's a hell of a storyteller.
Is it?
Zach Smith is really good at what he does.
Zach Smith, also in the
boy.
DMs.
And no, Zach Smith. Oh my God, that man tells stories about the 2014, 2015 Ohio State team that captivate me.
Yeah, he's something. Is he a scumbag? Maybe, I don't know. I
Maybe.
never read him, but
It seems that he
you know,
is. Yes.
yeah. There's evidence that he could be, but as far as telling stories, he does seem to be. Braxton Miller's in the DMs. I got a lot of people in the DMs
Okay,
right
cool,
now.
cool,
a lot of people
cool.
in the DMs. If that's Braxton Miller, I don't know.
Yeah, Jason Brown. He says he's been blackmailed out of college football.
You should
Blackball.
respond to Zach.
What's that?
You should respond.
Has he? When did he text me? Or
He
did he
DM'd
DM me?
you. You haven't
Oh.
DM'd back.
Oh, I thought I did.
Nope.
I meant to.
Why does he need to respond?
Huh? You know I'll be responding to DMs. Shout out Paige
He's-
Browning.
All right, Jackson Dart is the guy that I'm most Jackson and
No, okay.
Jaden are ones I'm most excited to see what happens.
Well, we don't want to just break down SEC quarterbacks. We've already
I know,
done that.
I know,
but
I know.
I listen. I also think Anthony Richardson's in that mix too, of just captivating quarterbacks that could be.
So
we don't
KJ
know.
could go from third or even second best in the SEC this year to I think bottom.
I think he could be 9 or 10. Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely and I know this is like the cliche for a lot of teams and players, but it's like, oh, the highest ceiling, the lowest floor. Like we'll see what happens when it comes to this specific game with Arkansas and Cincinnati. I think you're 100% right. I think the Swamp will be more electric just because it is the Swamp in comparison to Reynolds Stadium or Razorback Stadium or whatever we want to call it. But that atmosphere will be crazy.
Georgia and Oregon. Georgia waited 41 years. 40 years. 40 years, right? 40 years or 41 years? Or 42? 42 years. Yeah, they waited 42 years to have their name called as the national champs. Kirby Smart changed the cost of doing business several years ago. They got close. Alabama cut them off the pass a couple times, but finally they are the defending national champions. And they will take the field in a neutral site game. That's fair. That's very fair. A neutral site game. There's no advantage to either. They will be taking the field as defending national champs for the first time in a neutral site against Oregon, who only has to go 2,500 miles, against Georgia, who has to go 65 miles in Atlanta, Georgia. Why do these teams continue to agree to these things?
Like
why
Oregon.
did Oregon-
they get paid.
What's the benefit?
Money.
Well, I know they get paid, but does
I don't think
Oregon
Oregon
need
gets
the
paid.
money?
They get paid, yeah. Are you
They all get
kidding?
paid. Yeah,
I
they
thought
do get
only
paid.
if it's like a FCS.
No, they get paid.
Oh.
They get paid to play in these showcase games.
The
They
show
absolutely
is
get
like
paid.
Chick-fil-A plays them.
Yeah.
Oh, Georgia doesn't. Got it.
right.
Georgia and Oregon both get paid.
Yeah. Okay.
But the thing is, maybe pay me. Well, let's meet in Dallas. Let's go play in Dallas. Let's go play in L.A. Let's go play in St. Louis. Why am I coming to Atlanta?
Money talks, though.
I guess so. But did Oregon need money? Oregon just out there with
Everybody- you
a
never
tin
have
cup
enough
saying,
money.
"Hey,
Never have
please."
enough.
You never have enough money.
$1 million? That's why they have a tumble and dive team.
Do they have a tumble and dive team?
Yeah, that's because of games like this.
This game is going to be a bloodbath.
This is the one game where I'm starting to wonder if I'm too harsh on.
No,
on
I
one
don't
of the
think
teams.
it's going to be.
I am
think this
excited
is gonna
for
be like
the
24-14.
for the
All
storylines.
day.
Obviously,
I think Oregon's defense is really good
it's
this
a
year.
great storyline. Dan Lanning, you've got
Yeah.
Bo Nix. He tried to get away from the SEC. He has
Bo
to
Nix
open-
season.
He has to open up the season against Georgia. And yes, everyone's talking about, in January, Dan Lanning was on the sidelines for Georgia, but he was still recruiting for Oregon. I get all of that. I don't know what Oregon has to lose here, but this is we talk all the time about Nick Saban and his coordinators he's had throughout the years. Like, yes, Dan Lanning has a lot of knowledge about Georgia. Kirby Smart knows Dan Lanning better than the opposite.
Right.
Like, that's just the fact. And does that always matter? No. In this situation, I think that it does, because Georgia's still a very talented football team on both sides of the ball.
The thing about this adage or this thought that this new coach for a team who coached somewhere else last year, the fact that he knows all about that team, he knows about Georgia, he knows about everything that they do, so he could have an advantage here, would work if it were based in reality at all. It's really just based on a dream, because how many times have we seen former assistants leave Alabama, come back and play Saban, and get their fucking titties ripped off because their players aren't as good? That's all that matters. Your players is good, and Oregon's players aren't as good.
and for lack of better analogy, it's like the parent-child thing, right? I mean, in coaching, that's kind of what this is. It's like, yeah, the kid's going to know the parent's going to know the kid way better. So it's like, yeah, like he has knowledge of Kirby Smart, but guess what? Kirby Smart
also doesn't win because of scheme. He doesn't. He wins because his players are better than everybody else.
Also, I think Dan Lanning actually has a hand up here because Dan is leaving the team, and he's been in that program. He knows what he's leaving. I feel like the Georgia program, they see the names that Dan Lanning is having on his staff. Like, they don't know.
But they know
Kirby
his coaching.
knows.
They know, yeah. Kirby knows his coaching style. Kirby knows like how he's going to run his program. He knows his schemes
in his program.
He knows Bo Nix. Like, I mean, that's why usually assistants don't beat head coaches.
I do think I like the idea of Bo Nix being the quarterback in this game.
You like it?
A, Bo Nix wasn't all that bad last year. B, if you took a Ty Thompson, who was a former 5-star out of Oregon, and you gave him his first start here, he's going to walk into the stadium. There's 90,000 screaming. There's red everywhere. There's a fucking fat-ass bulldog on the sidelines. There's all this. There's all these, pretty girls in pretty dresses yelling at you, telling you that your mother's a whore, and he's going to freak out. Bo Nix been here a lot. Bo Nix ain't going to be scared at all on Saturday night.
Definitely.
Now, it might not matter, but Bo Nix is not going to. He's not going to be phased walking into this situation.
I agree with that.
And what a beautiful bow tie it would be for Bo Nix's career if he started his career. If he started his career by a nationally televised game against Oregon, beating them, and then he goes to Oregon and he were to be able to win this game, it would be incredible.
It's not going to happen.
I don't think it's going to happen either, but I don't think it's going to happen the way Georgia fans think it's going to happen. They believe their offense is incredible. They believe their offense is sick. They believe they've got elite tight ends and elite this and elite, and they got good tight ends. But if tight ends are the best part, I think they're going to win a low-scoring game. I think they're going to win like 28-7, something like that. I think they're going to cover, but I don't think either team's coming out of this being like, oh wow, they're the most impressive team in the country.
Yeah, no, I do agree with you with the Bo Nix thing, and it's Kirby. They technically Oregon hasn't named a starting quarterback as of now. Kirby Smart's like, we all know who the starting quarterback is going to be, which I agree. Bo Nix is, and I haven't seen them practice, so I don't know, but I'm going to assume that having any type of experience against SEC talent will help. This is where I go back to what I was saying earlier. Oregon has nothing to lose to me. I mean, I don't, I ask you about like what the number would be for Notre Dame. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the number would be for me because I don't think that it really exists. That Oregon goes out and embarrasses themselves because Georgia is the reigning national champion. This is a Kirby Smart assistant. We very rarely see an assistant come and beat a head coach ever, let alone in game one of his tenure at a new school. And I think that everybody knows that Georgia's just the better football team. I don't think there's anything for Oregon to lose. We do assume that.
Now, there's two things here. Two things. Stetson Bennett, still pretty good, not great. Oregon might have a good defense. And Georgia's defense will take a step back. Will it be a baby step? Will it be a mid-step? Will it be a giant step? I don't think it'll be a giant step. That's why I think they're going to win the game. But you can't rule a giant step out. I don't think you can rule that out. I think we're talking about Georgia is at their Alabama moment right now. Alabama can win the national title, everybody leave, and they can win the national title again the next year. That's very rare. It's incredibly rare. It's hard to build a team that can do that every single year. Georgia has now won the national title. They got over that hump. But are they Alabama? Are they going to be the same every year regardless of the talent they lost? This is their moment to find out.
This is a huge step in the next part of the Kirby Smart narrative because we talked about it for years since he left Alabama. It was like, can he beat Nick Saban?
Right.
And for so many different games, it was like, no, he can't. He can't get over that hump. Well, guess what? He finally got over that hump. He beat Goliath. He beat the big bad wolf. Now, can he take that next step to becoming the big bad wolf?
I think Kirby Smart's career is like a book that's been cut into two halves.
Like Solomon and the Babies.
Two halves of a book, and the first half is over, and now we begin the second half.
And now we see.
So how epic is this book going to be?
And can he build on that? And it's like, and not just Kirby, just Georgia in general, because it's like, I don't think it's fair to say, well, Georgia's is the next Alabama yet. I know there are some people that say.
But it's their moment to find out.
It's their moment to find out. Do I think they're going to find out completely just against Oregon in week one? No.
I think it could go a long way.
It could definitely go a long way.
If they come out and win 10-7 like they did against Clemson last year, I think they might be in a little trouble.
But if they cover. What's the line right now? I know the line.
16.5, 17.5.
Which I think that they cover.
Yeah.
I mean, and that to me, and I know that that's not technically a quote bloodbath, but if you cover a double digit, almost a 20-point spread against the 11th team in the country, like, you're doing something pretty
17.
right.
All right,
17.
let's go
I
ahead.
think the
and-
under is the best play.
Let's
here.
go ahead. I got a couple lists I want to throw out there,
Okay.
and then we'll get to the rest of the slate, okay?
Okay.
These are my players with the most to gain in week 1, the players with the most to lose in week 1.
Okay.
And I'll go through it quickly. All right? Players with the most to gain. Anthony Richardson, Florida Gators. We think it's in there. We believe he has a Heisman ceiling. There's no better way. The Heisman race, by the way, last year really jumped into overdrive, and Bryce Young won it at the very end. Heisman race this year starts Saturday night. C.J. Stroud gets to play Notre Dame. Smith and Jigba gets to play Notre Dame. And if Anthony Richardson were to go for 400 yards and 3 touchdowns and beat Utah, he's in the mix early. Mm-hmm. He has so much to gain. If they lose by 2 touchdowns, whatever. But if he wins and he has a big game, he's a star. He's a fucking star.
And it goes back to everything we've said. If Florida as an unranked team, and they in week 1 of their new coach, that's huge across the board. A Heisman Trophy winner that can bring a program back to quote relevance, huge.
Number 2 player with the most to gain, Bo Nix. Nobody really expects much out of Bo Nix. Nobody believes Bo Nix is going to Oregon and mattering this year. Nobody believes Bo Nix can be great. But he wasn't that bad last year. He's going to a place he's been before. I don't think the moment will be too big for him personally if he were to pull this off. We joked about the legend of Bo Nix for 2 years on this podcast. It would be reignited immediately.
And I keep using the word narrative because that's what we do in the offseason. We create these narratives. The idea that it's like, oh, he ran away from the SEC, ran away from that talent to go to the West Coast and play in an easier conference. If he can beat Georgia, that narrative dies.
I have 2 quick ones because they both play Thursday night. And I don't know when you're listening to this or watching this, so it might have already happened. Players with the most gain, JT Daniels.
Huge.
A big game and a road win against Pitt. All of a sudden, he's a star quarterback. All of a sudden, we're talking about him. All of a sudden, we're talking about West Virginia again.
What's your pick for that game?
I was about to say, can you please talk me off of just hammering West Virginia money line?
I think too many people are on West Virginia. I think too many people are on West Virginia.
I just can't.
I think it's a low-scoring game.
Besides that, what's your guys' reasoning to pick a side?
I like JT Daniels. I think
Pitt lost a good bit last year, but Pitt brings back a shit ton as well. I spent all summer thinking West Virginia was going to win this game. The closer we get, the more I think Pitt's going to win it.
I think West Virginia's going to win, but by the way, I just want to be able to say eat shit, Pitt.
That's fine.
It's so much fun. I have no interest, but eat shit, Pitt. It's so fun.
West Virginia was like an incredibly boring team last year.
So
I don't really know. They're not a very talented team.
I think
they're coming from the Big 12. They're playing Pittsburgh, who was electric last year. They do lose Kenny Pickett and Jordan Addison, but they still had a talented team outside of that.
I think that JT Daniels and
Pitt was also in a lot of close games.
And JT Daniels too. Like, I know he's had some really shit luck, but it's like, we asked on the podcast recently, like, when did Georgia fans start hating him? Like,
I don't think they ever hated him.
They didn't. And Georgia fans be like, no, we didn't. But it's like, I think that JT Daniels, and I could be wrong because I know we've seen him now at we're seeing him in his 3rd school. I think he's really fucking good.
Yeah, he had a 5-game stretch, but was incredible at Georgia in 2020. My number 4 player with the most to gain, Aiden O'Connell, Thursday night. One of the best 5-game stretches out of quarterback all of last season. He has to do it now without his 2 best receivers from a year ago, but he's facing Penn State team that is right on the cusp of being in the top 25. And with Northwestern and Nebraska coming out the other day and not looking very good, I think Purdue's got a lane to really matter in the Big Ten West. If he wins that game with big numbers, look out. And my last one, player of the most to gain, Florida State quarterback Jordan Travis.
And a Barstool athlete.
A whole lot of people are talking about Florida State possibly going in there and beating LSU. If he did that, if they're 2-0 with a win over LSU, Jordan Travis is going to matter a lot. Now, my 5 with the most to lose, I'll go quickly. Spencer Rattler, we're all assuming he's better than he was last year, or at least I'm thinking that.
I think so too. And he wasn't that bad last year.
Okay, but they're a 12-point favorite over Georgia State, who's a live dog, I think. I think they're a live dog. If he were to, lose that game, that cheese slides off the cracker immediately.
While in South Carolina, Sir Big Spur is back the name. They've just thrown everything else out.
Cock Commander it is.
Cock Commander it is. Stetson Bennett. They love him now. He won a national title. Lose to Oregon, they're going to fucking hate you.
He'll be back to the guy that's selling insurance. In Athens.
Sean Clifford hasn't been as bad as people think he is. He's just boring. He loses to Purdue. They're going to want to play the freshman immediately.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels, LSU. It's a weird marriage, Brian Kelly and LSU, and it's a weird marriage of Brian Kelly and Jaden Daniels at LSU. If they were to lose to Florida State, Nussmeier, they have a 5-star freshman, Walker Howard. Fans will start looking around immediately. And then my last one is not a player at all. It's a coach with the most to lose. It's Brian Kelly.
Definitely.
Brian Kelly. I
got you. Brian Kelly
I had
killed
LSU
the
fans.
vibe.
I had LSU fans last night telling me that LSU has the best receiving core and the best defensive line in the country. That means LSU fans are still delusional, even though they've had back-to-back bad seasons. They've had back-to-back seasons that were so bad, they fired a coach who won a national title in 2019. Yet they still believe they have the best. They still believe they have the best team in the country, players in the country.
And
so if you lose to Florida State, they're going to turn on you quick.
And we make fun of Brian Kelly a lot on this, and I know Coach O needed Coach O needed to go. He needed to. I get that.
I don't know that he did, but I'm sure he's enjoying his life.
I can only imagine how good looking his girlfriend probably is. But
We've seen her.
I saw her in
she's
LA.
the same,
She's
same one?
so hot.
I didn't know. I never know. But Brian Kelly has come in and made LSU, who is undeniably a very cool school, regardless of if you like them or not. They've got, all the cliche words, the swagger, the atmosphere, the colors. Everything is cool. They're Louisiana. They've got the New Orleans scene, the whole thing. Brian Kelly has come in and somehow made that lame a lot of times and not all of those things are lame. He is making it seem lame. So if they are to lose to Florida State, who has been pretty bad the last few seasons, then that as you would say,
I think
the
we
cheese
should
slides
really
off the
watch
cracker.
out for LSU. LSU is a team that has, a really talented roster with a lot of recruiting talent on it. And you're bringing in a coach that we know he has failed at the college football playoff level, but we know he's a good coach.
He's gotten there, and I'll say this as well. I made fun of him for claiming to have the best receiver group or the best defensive line group. They don't have the best either of those things, but they have top 5 both of those things.
For sure. Could I add one to your most to lose?
Yeah.
DJ on Monday night.
Oh, sure,
and Monday night, everyone's watching. I think if you have a bad game against Georgia Tech and you only win 24-20, like last year, they beat them
12-7, wasn't it?
Yeah,
very
14-6 or 14-10 or something.
Yeah.
And
it was definitely single digits.
And if you don't perform, it's gonna be everyone's gonna be watching.
Yeah, Kate. They're gonna be calling for Kate immediately.
Can I also add one?
Yeah.
And I don't think this is gonna happen.
Oh, she's gonna make it about Johnny Manziel.
No, I'm not. Maybe. USC. So, I guess if we need to nail it down or single it out, Lincoln Riley, they're playing Rice. Rice is terrible. The line right now is, I believe, 31 or 32. If that game isn't a blowout, then people are going to start being like, well, maybe we overrated USC, which is not fair.
Drake May has a big game this weekend.
Yeah. He does.
Also, what about Haynes King for A&M?
Well, they're playing Sam Houston.
I know, but even still, because he has other people behind him.
You said a team that was playing Rice.
Huh?
You said a team that was playing Rice.
USC?
Yeah.
I think Caleb Williams has a chance to have a Joe Burrow, Georgia Southern game from his Heisman season.
What about Dylan Gabriel at Oklahoma?
My reasoning with the
not
team
in week 1 though. I don't think any of these teams can lose. That's the problem.
None of these teams can lose. I'm saying though with Caleb Williams and Lincoln Riley over with Haynes King or anybody else, Haynes King is the starting quarterback. That's fine. There's been not near as much hype about how good these guys are going to be versed. We're talking about Caleb Williams winning the Heisman. Lincoln Riley is resurrected USC. If they have an abysmal game against fucking Rice.
The reason I said, Spencer Rattler has a lot to lose, they're a 12-point favorite over Georgia State. I think they could lose that game. I think Stetson Bennett and them could theoretically lose to Oregon. I think Sean Clifford could lose to Purdue.
Definitely.
I don't think Caleb Williams or Haynes King
game we're sleeping on.
Now Caleb Williams, I believe, in a couple of weeks they're going to play Fresno. Now we're talking. Yeah, what?
Louisville, Syracuse.
We're going to get to a lot of games here.
Okay. I just know you want to.
No, I don't. I'm fine. We can stay.
Okay.
We can stay. We can stay till 5:40. We're good. This will be a 2-hour show.
You got a top 10 to make.
God damn it! Can they let me breathe around here?
Listen, don't call the messenger.
We'll get another Instagram post. Don't worry
about it. We need to get him some water.
We're going to talk for a minute. I didn't drink out of it.
Yeah, he's right. This was yours?
That sounds empty.
Was it yours at one time?
No, I never drank it.
Get more.
It was
I understand, but was it yours at one time?
Never.
Was this intended to be yours?
No, but I thought for a second I want to drink out of it, and I didn't.
Okay.
Don't worry. We'll get a social post.
The problem is I need We need her to show us the slate. Now she's
it'll
going
be-
to get water.
It'll be 2 seconds.
If you press the arrow down 2 times,
Up.
all right.
All right, Casey's in charge of the slate now.
No, Friday. Go Friday.
Casey's in charge of the slate.
Can I
You
say
know what?
something about this Friday slate?
Yeah.
I'm not excited about it.
I
I'm
am.
excited. There,
But
no,
it's a
listen,
Friday night. It's a
no, here's the thing.
It's
I would like it.
Friday.
I would like it on record. Of course, I'm fucking excited that
Yeah.
there's a ton of games in college football on a Friday night in September.
I think there's a
get
couple
that.
sleepers here, and I'll tell
There's
you
a
why.
couple sleepers. However, I think tonight, and again, if you're listening to this after tonight, I apologize. There's some really exciting games tonight. Obviously, Saturday is stacked. Sunday, great game. Clemson on Monday. All of those things I'm excited about. Friday seems like it's a little bit of a dull day. Now, maybe we need that. There's some sleeper games, but this slate doesn't jump out. It's like, which one doesn't belong? Friday night.
Buddy, come 8 o'clock Friday night, I'm going to be so about Illinois and Indiana,
That's
it's not
it,
even going
yeah.
to be funny. I'm going to be so into Illinois and Indiana. I'm going to be like Mrs. Connor Basilak. That's how excited I'm going to be about it. Because I think, listen, I think Illinois is about to start 2-0. I think they're going to walk in there and they're going to beat Indiana. Illinois is going to be 2-0. All of a sudden, Brett Bielema is kind of starting to jiggle a little bit in year 2. Not roll, because he can't roll. It's too big. But he's starting to jiggle a little bit in year 2. I like that one. Virginia Tech Old Dominion's also a sneaky motherfucker of a game. Look at this. I'm going to tell you how excited teams are to play.
Okay.
Remember how I told you this last year, how we agreed on this? You can tell how lit it's going to be or how awesome it's going to be
How lit it's going to be.
I like how lit.
by, you look on the right side, tickets as low as
Yep.
blank. I'm just going to read some numbers. You can get into Western Michigan, Michigan State for tickets as low as $49. You can get into Eastern Kentucky, Eastern Michigan for as low as $11. You can get into William & Mary at Charlotte as low as $9. You can get to Illinois, Indiana as low as $13.
That's actually surprising to me.
You can get into Virginia Tech at Old Dominion, tickets as low as $156.
There's got
At
to be a
Old
reason
Dominion.
for that.
Yeah, well, it's small stadium,
Small
but
stadium.
And Virginia Tech new coach. Virginia Tech's probably bought a lot of these tickets too, but
Great point. Definitely.
Yeah.
And that's a big game in the state of Virginia.
and Old Dominion's beaten them before.
Yeah, they beat them in this exact situation at home. It was a hell of a game
Why is it on ESPNU?
because they have ESPN Michigan State. ESPN2 probably has like what's on ESPN2?
Look at Kansas getting thrown on ESPN Plus in the first week of the fucking
Can you
season.
even get ESPNU on like unless you have like the ESPN app? Like,
No,
is that
you
even
can get
still
it
a
on
channel
DirecTV.
Yeah,
anymore?
no, you can get it. It's on DirecTV 208.
DirecTV,
Oh, okay.
208.
Okay. I mean, I don't know why I asked that. I just stream from the ESPN app, but still.
By the way, you told me it was going to be 2 seconds, and it's been like 2 minutes.
Well, she went as fast as she could.
Well, I'm just saying.
Thank you, Katie.
She
I
did great.
appreciate
She
it.
did great. What? Were you
Oh,
talking?
what happened? Oh, she's gonna get in front of a mic.
Why is Katie wearing a Yukon? I thought.
They sent it to us.
Oh, by the
No,
Wait,
I went.
no. What were you gonna say? No.
I took a second because I found TJ. We spent the entire summer doing our college football show, and I was like, "Has he ever put up a top 10 that we can reuse?" So
Yeah.
trying to make your life easier. So that's
all right. So there's a company, Rock'em Socks, that sent the show some socks.
Oh,
And
Jack.
they DM'd me and they said, "Hey, we're going to send you some socks." I said, "That'd be great. Please send them." And they're colorful socks.
Yeah.
They're all team related. They sent me a DM and said, "These 4 teams, all right?" And I never responded. So they sent Katie some beautiful North Carolina socks. They're awesome. They're fantastic. They sent Casey some maroon Texas A&M socks. They sent me some awesome Mississippi State socks. They're fantastic. Sent you a pair of University of Alabama socks.
Jack, this morning. So like, because again, it's flooding in our office. So I'm
just give it.
sitting.
But they're incredible socks.
they
I
are
wish I
great.
had them.
They're awesome.
No, so I sat down at Nick Trainey's desk, who is at the West Virginia game tonight, and obviously right next to Brandon. And so
Jealous.
he shows me, he's like, "Look at your awesome socks." Shows me his, shows me Katie's, or tells me, and then all of a sudden he just holds up the Alabama socks and he's like, "Who do you think these are for?" And I was like, "Did they send Jack Alabama?" I mean, I understand not having UConn socks,
Yeah, I get it.
but Alabama, awesome socks though.
All right, let's move on to
Saturday.
And by the way, I want to keep my eyes on the most expensive game. Go to Thursday, please.
Oh yeah, that's why I included the price. The
Yeah,
ticket.
I want the
Wake
most-
Forest is for $6.
All right, so no, I saw a $2 one earlier.
But no, like Wake Forest, I feel like they got a big. It's the same Hartman.
Yeah, but their
effect.
Hartman's out.
I know,
They
that's
know they're
why-
not.
Nobody goes to those games anyways.
They got the smallest fan base. They got the smallest university in Division One.
Yeah.
Like 3,000 people go
It
to that
makes
school.
Incredibly hard to go to
Thursday
that
night,
school.
most expensive ticket makes sense. West Virginia Pitt.
West Virginia Pitt's $171. So far, that's our most expensive ticket of the weekend. I'm sure it won't be by the end.
And not only
App
that,
State
like when
is
you
surprisingly.
when you look at Thursday night, nothing else even is close to it. There's nothing over $50. There's nothing over $40, and then all of a sudden it jumps up to almost $200.
I could go. If I were in West Lafayette, Indiana, and didn't have nothing to do, I could spend $37 and go to Ross H Stadium and watch
Penn State.
Penn State.
But then the
Purdue tonight.
fees are $800.
That's true. That's a good point.
All right.
Maybe
It's
not.
capitalism,
Maybe not
Jack.
on game
That's what you
time.
believe in,
Game
buddy.
time app.
That's not. That is. No, we don't want to get into an economic talk, but
Okay.
I see what you're saying.
You pro capitalism or not? Huh?
I'm pro capitalism, but I'm anti not letting other people get into the
Let's go.
industry.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Why'd you do that?
I don't know.
I'm not pro.
Woo! Look at App State, North Carolina. App State's excited.
It's sold out. That's what I think
$240.
it is. It's only resale value.
$240 to get an App State.
And then it was
So-
$2. Maryland, Buffalo.
That's rent in the Appalachians.
So the early, that's accurate but mean.
It's probably much more fun to live there than New York City.
The early slate in the first Saturday of college football. Not a whole lot of meat on this bone.
What?
I think there's a what?
I think. Sorry.
What's great
disagree.
about this early slate? Like it's fine, but it's
It's a lot of questions. Like I know Sam Houston and Colorado State are.
no. Actually, you're what's crazy. There's one halfway decent game. here.
Yeah, you're crazy.
As I was going to finish, I was going to say I'm interested to see like what certain offenses look like. I want to see how the players. It's
Yeah.
not just about winning and losing. It's about seeing what
So-
they look like
But
against
see,
other teams.
and I agree with. I mean, I'm obviously very excited for the 12 o'clock
Sam
kick.
Houston and A&M
But-
kick off at 11 o'clock Texas time.
Yeah, I mean, I am excited.
Bowling
I don't.
Green and
I don't
UCLA.
think that I'll see anything from A&M's offense against Sam Houston that will make me feel excited, unless it's the opposite. I could feel sad.
By
Michigan
the way,
too, but-
Colorado State at Michigan. Michigan not getting near enough guff for their non-conference schedule. It's a fucking joke.
Well, that because they're
No,
not the
it's a
SEC.
joke.
No, I know it's because, but only SEC schools get guff for that.
I guess, but Michigan plays Colorado State, Hawaii, and
UConn.
Yes,
Yes,
I
UConn.
didn't mean for that. To
No,
be a-
I know.
That's embarrassing.
What?
That's a bad schedule.
Oh,
Yeah, but if you
Michigan
think
has
about it,
Michigan plays 12 games, 8 of them are at home.
Sorry, I got completely derailed here. Katie's on ESPN right now. Again, I don't want to give A&M a whole lot of credit. I would love to read that article, the best quotes from a wild
I'll
off
read
season.
that one later.
I'm not saying now. I'm saying like that caught my eye as something that I would like to read.
Oh, it's going to be Jimbo going at Nick Saban, and then right under is going to be
Man,
Jimbo
sorry.
running like a bitch.
no,
sorry,
there's gonna
Mr.
be more.
Saban.
Sorry, sir. I know we
Sorry.
come over there October.
There's going to be some Mark Whipple quotes in there.
All right, go back to the slate, please, Katie, as that early slate.
I will say what I love about the early slate because my team is playing is that like that is going to be a really good feeling like right at noon to be able to see like the home atmosphere. Like if your
Yeah.
team is playing,
You're also going to get it over with early.
definitely like by halftime I hope to not care. And then obviously the North Carolina App State game.
I hate
I'm excited about
every
that.
piece
I think
of
there are
that.
2 gigantic games in the state of North Carolina for the state of North Carolina at 12 o'clock on Saturday. They happen at the exact same time. NC State, number 13, best roster they've ever had. Great quarterback. Everything's going NC State. They open up at East Carolina. It's going to be raucous there. They're going to be rocking. Now, NC State probably good enough to overcome it, probably good enough to be fine. But it's just if I were coming into the best season of my lifetime, I would hate to open up at East Carolina,
If they're-
at a lesser team in my own state.
And in your words, if they're a pretender, this game will expose it.
This game
very
would
quick.
expose them quick. I don't
Quick.
think they're a pretender, but if they are, we'll know. And then North Carolina with one of the just all-time weirdest schedules in the history of
Don't.
football. Opening on week 0, and then week 1
App State's favorite now.
they go to App State, and then week 2 they go to Georgia State in Atlanta. Like, is Mac Brown senile? Is he done?
In his
No Mac
defense,
Brown slander.
this was done like 10 years ago. Blame someone 10 years ago. Like none of this stuff happens the past few years. You always see like when you see news now,
All right.
it's in 2020
Now,
in 2030.
I want to have everybody pick it right now. There's always a game in the opening slate that at 2:30 we all flip over to ESPN 9 and watch the
Yes.
end of it. What's the game? What's the game here that is going to shock the country?
State.
South Dakota State is at Iowa. Iowa has Iowa State next week. Iowa has a bad quarterback. Iowa had a lot of turnover luck last year. South Dakota State is a good football team. You think it's South Dakota State, Iowa? That's a good pick.
That's not a bad pick. I'm going to say Rutgers Boston College.
Yeah, I think that's a very even matchup.
Like I could see that. Like I can tell you right now that I'm not flipping over on the ACC network unless that game is really close. I could see, because I plan on being in Hoboken for a lot longer than just the stream, so I can watch most of the games. That feels like one of those games that I'll be watching on my phone as I'm running into the gambling cave.
All right, let's move on to the middle of the day. We are in the 3:30 slate, and then the slide I have has games from 3:30 to 6, and now we're fucking cooking. Now we're cooking with grease. At 3:30 Eastern Time, 2:30 Central, 1:30 Mountain, 12:30 Pacific. Wow, it has to be awesome to be in the Pacific time zone if you love college football.
See, I wouldn't want to be up at 9 a.m. to
I'd
watch
love to wake. I hate waking up at 9 a.m. and then wait until 12 for a game. I'd love to wake up at 9 a.m. and just be able to dive
Think
right
about
in.
that. You'd be watching our show at 7 a.m.
Well,
Yeah.
I like. Let's see, Oregon at Georgia's at 3:30. UTEP, Oklahoma, Bethune-Cookman, Miami, Cincinnati, Arkansas is at 3:30. Houston, UTSA is at 3:30. Arizona, San Diego State, which that's kind of sneaky, not bad. Troy, Ole Miss is sneaky, not bad. BYU, South Florida, sneaky, not bad.
South Florida is really good against ranked teams.
And they were 2-10 last year, and they have Jerry Bohannon, the Baylor starting quarterback from last year.
They're 5-0 against the spread against ranked teams.
BYU, this is a dangerous spot for BYU.
Even better
If I had to
at
pick a team that was ranked that would get upset by an unranked team, BYU would be on that short list for this week. I love BYU. You guys know I had them number 6 in the playoff at the end of the year, but this is a treacherous
had 'em there.
spot. Huh?
I said, well, Mintz had him there.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. So, again, we've talked about Oregon, Georgia. We've talked about Cincinnati, Arkansas. Is there a shocker here that you're going to be – listen.
The BYU
I
game.
love hating on them, and I want them to lose. I can see Troy Ole Miss being a game in the fourth quarter. They have so many transfers. They have Jackson Dart. They're not acting positive about him. Everybody's a transfer on Ole Miss. If they don't gel early, Troy could be in that game in the fourth quarter.
It's 21.5 points. It's not insane.
Not really a big deal.
Troy's not a bad team, man, and I think they have a pretty good defense.
I'm just trying to look. I was looking at the prices of the tickets. Obviously, the number one game is Oregon, Georgia. Arizona, San Diego State. This is number 2.
Ooh,
By
Ole
the
Miss
way-
is only $7.
By the way, yeah, you could get a lot of things at Ole Miss for $7, including chlamydia. It's interesting that tickets for Georgia, Oregon are $141. That tells you how insane it's going to be. That place seats 80,000 fucking people, and it's still $141 to get in.
Yeah, I mean, it's
To
a Georgia
get
home-
in.
It's a Georgia home game.
Continue as we move down the list. We go into the 6 o'clock Eastern games, then 7 to 7:30. Middle Tennessee, James Madison. Everybody's excited about that. Utah, Florida's at 7 on ESPN. Gets the night started off right. Illinois State at Wisconsin. Miami of Ohio at Kentucky. I love Kentucky to beat the shit out of them.
That's my
South Dakota at Kansas State. Elon, Vanderbilt, Mercer, Auburn.
Liberty.
Southern Miss is sneaky.
Yep.
Liberty has been good for several years. They're 3-point favorites against Southern Miss. Will Hall, I think, is turning things around down there. I think Southern Miss beats Liberty. I think Charlie Brewer, who's their starting quarterback, Liberty's starting quarterback, is garbage. And I think Ty Keys at Southern Miss could be good.
Only
Watch
3.5
that game
point
is all
spread.
I'm saying. Utah State, Alabama being at night's interesting to me. Usually Alabama has, when they play this shitty team, it's like it's their 12 o'clock game of the year.
It's the SEC network.
Utah State is shitty compared to Alabama, but as a whole, I don't think Utah State is a shitty team.
No, they're not. They're not. And they're a lot better. I think after the first quarter the other day, they played a lot better. They were god-awful in the first quarter. Some would say that the refs helped them out, especially in the fourth quarter. I don't know if anybody here would say that, but it's
Some.
certainly a fair take.
Yes,
I would say that.
I'd say the highest get-in price so far is Ohio State Notre Dame, $265 to get in. Have we gone lower? Have we hit? We need to make a list of all the $1 games this year. Have we hit $1 yet? I don't think we
I
have.
I think $2 was the
$2
lowest.
with Buffalo, Maryland. was the big-
$4 is.
We should keep track of the lowest game and then keep track of the highest game.
$4
$4
for
for
Texas at
Oh,
UL
wow,
Monroe.
that's
Well,
interesting.
that's
5 for Louisville,
cheese
Syracuse.
and crackers crowd. They
But
don't
I
care.
think we're still at $2 for Buffalo, Maryland.
By the way,
Yeah.
I know it's going away. The fact that Quinn Ewers' first game is on the Longhorn Network is shit. I know it's not going to be a good game, and yes, I understand they're going to kill Louisiana Monroe, but boy, like this kid was like, the $1 million kid skipped his senior year of high school, and nobody's going to be able to see him play.
And we finish up the Saturday night slate with the late 7:30 games on into 11:59 p.m. Mississippi State, Memphis. This is going to be sweet. The only thing that sucks is that I think it's going to be raining. and that hurts our offense. But I still think we'll be okay. But it fucking hurts. I mean, we lost the Egg Bowl because it was raining and not because of any other reason. We lost the Memphis game because of officiating. We lost the Arkansas game because of officiating and weather. We lost Alabama because of officiating and players and weather. We've never really lost a game, but we're going to kill.
Mike Leach is undefeated technically.
Correct. Yes,
Yeah,
we're going to kill Memphis. And by the way, I've always been a Mike Leach guy, and I vow
he's
right
not
now I will not fire Mike Leach this
That's
season.
not gonna. I mean, that's you will fire him on
In the first
Saturday
game.
night.
I will not fire Mike Leach this season.
Yes, you
You're
will.
saying that now because you guys are friends and you did the whole interview. I can tell you right now, I can see it perfectly. We'll be sitting in Hoboken all together, and they're anywhere near embarrassing themselves or losing to Memphis. You're firing him Saturday.
That doesn't sound like me.
It sounds just like you. And also, if you don't fire him, like, are you a real fan? Unless they win every single game. Come on.
I wanted to fire Gene Chizik on Saturday.
Well, you should fire Gene Chizik. Gene Chizik sucks.
Oh my God, he does.
Nice guy though.
Florida State at LSU Sunday. We can talk about that Saturday night, and then Clemson, Georgia Tech. Florida State LSU gives me the same vibes Florida State Notre Dame gave me as we watched it last year.
I love that game.
I see this being a freaky good game, like a
Yeah.
38-35 banger.
A nice
Florida
Sunday
State
night.
Notre Dame last year.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said.
Sorry.
Said that out of my mouth. That came out of my face.
I thought you said Georgia Clemson. Never mind. I'm shutting up now. Continue.
It's a long week for everybody.
Well, folks, my voice isn't going to go much longer, so I think we can. As far as what we planned out, I don't think we need to do that.
no, definitely not.
So the
this-
Barstool Sportsbook live in Kansas right now.
Terrifying.
Live in Kansas, the Barstool. That's Big Cat is Andy
It's,
Reid.
yes, it's when they do on the dozen the
That's the-
celebrity mashup.
that
It's,
is-
it's Andy Reid and
That's
Dan.
the most subtle Big Cat I've ever seen.
It's the eyes, you can tell.
So there you go, live in Kansas, our 13th or 14th state.
Oh wait,
Yes.
we need to also promo. I'm gonna go pull up Dave's email. All the promos on the sports book. We have multiple, obviously, because Kansas is live. There's gonna be that. So Kansas launches today. We're doing an offer for Kansas and all new players. Bet anything and get $100 bonus cash. So you could bet $10 and you get $100 added to your account. So if you're a new gambler at all, you can do that. And also a college football promo that will be live starting on Friday. And so this comes out on Thursday. So starting on Friday at 9 a.m., we will match up to $25 in bonus cash for anybody new or old who places a 3-team parlay for college football. You cannot move the line, but any 3-team parlay, we will match up to $25 in bonus cash. Barstool Sportsbook.
By the way, speaking of Barstool Sportsbook, Dave Portnoy just tweeted, let's go Vols. He has bet Tennessee minus 34.5 against Ball State for $55,000.
I like the first half.
I just...
Woo!
Oh, you know what else you need to vow?
What?
Let's not have a repeat of what happened last year with Dave's $500,000 gambling.
I will not promise that.
Okay.
And by the way, I'm still I've been a classy guy, but there was a person a gambler within Barstool that gave Dave that pick that never mentioned the fact that they gave him. I'll tell you later.
Okay.
He was given that pick by a Barstool gambler, and for some reason that person never got any
Well,
guff at all, and that person gave a
Was
shitty
he there?
pick.
You don't have to say it. You don't
yeah.
have to say it.
All right.
Okay. That's the show, folks.